No one cares.
Yeah, we do. Whoa, hey. Yeah, all right. There we are. Bill Burr has arrived early, so very cool. White Stripes and Apple Blossom. That's from the movie Hateful Eight. We were going to. You haven't seen Hateful Eight, I would imagine.
I'm here early. Was I supposed to be here at 7?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy you're here.
I'm exhausted, so I was like, oh man, I could have slept for another 20 minutes.
You haven't seen Hateful Eight yet, the Quentin Tarantino movie?
No, I have not.
It's a really, really good movie. Last Thursday, we all went.
I got to check it out.
It's
tomorrow.
3+ hours. Well, the movie itself is a little over 3 hours, and they give you an intermission. And it's 2 sets through the whole fucking movie. And it holds your attention. It's really, really good.
Who's everybody in it?
You got Bruce Dern.
Yeah.
You got
Kurt Russell.
You got Jennifer Jason Leigh. You got
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson's in the movie.
Sam Jackson's
in the movie.
It's like Tarantino always works with the same people.
James Colburn is in the movie. Fucking Billy. I miss Bill Burr. It was really good, though, man.
I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah. The N-word's thrown around a lot again, though.
Stop smiling every time you say it.
I don't smile. I'm not smiling.
I know Spike Lee, he's due for a rant. He always gets mad. I always want to be like, Spike, why don't you take a look at your depiction of Italian Americans in your movies before you bitch? Oh, hey, where's my fucking ziti over here? Fucking horrific. Fucking horrific. I'm not even Italian. I'm like, Jesus, Spike, was it that bad?
And then he goes after everybody else. That's a wonderful point.
Yes.
I like that point.
He does make that
John Leguizamo playing. He was playing Italian too.
Yeah.
In Summer of Sam.
Yes.
All those guys.
Right.
Maria. Oh.
Where's my pasta?
Yeah. He was doing everything but slurping spaghetti when they were delivering those awful fucking lines.
Goon arms and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Goon hand or whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
It was Jersey Shore before Jersey Shore.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's Brooklyn Italians.
Exactly. We were discussing Hateful Eight.
They cosigns, of course.
I liked it. It took me back.
The one thing about Hateful Eight, they say the N-word a lot, and Jennifer Jason Leigh especially.
She enjoyed it?
She's either an amazing actress or she really likes saying that word.
I would go. She's an amazing actress, and like
I know. I would assume.
Both. Why can't it be both?
I would assume. And then Bruce Dern also is very convincing when he says the word.
Well, he's an older man too, so he remembers saying the word,
right?
And no repercussions.
I just find it amazing when you watch these movies because everyone.
Well, it took place during a time when there was still slavery, so yeah people are not going to be exactly.
But man, they say that word a lot again in this movie. But it's great. We got pretty much the whole cast coming in this week. We got Jennifer Jason Leigh coming in this week. We got Kurt Russell coming in. We got Quentin Tarantino. Who else? Bruce Dern today. So, Travis, you loved the movie, right?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any Tarantino movie I usually love, but this one is really up there.
Yeah. And Roland fell asleep behind me.
Of course he did.
Roland.
He fell asleep. We get this opportunity to see this movie before anyone else, and he got a nice snooze in.
On the first half of the movie? Before the intermission?
He says he saw half the movie, which means he missed an hour and a half.
Roland. As soon as the lights went down, he was out.
He probably was out within 10 minutes. Billy, you don't know this, but we go to these movies with Roland, and he sleeps through every single one, and he annoys a lot of people because he has one of those over-the-top fucking I'm a bear snores.
Oh, he does.
Oh, and people get pissed. They start kicking his chair, and no one can wake him up.
Is it his diet? Does he just like sugar salt himself with all the concessions and then he's out?
He might have. I don't know. What do you think the Roland thing is?
I think it's a respiratory issue.
He's got some apnea happening.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm asking why he falls asleep. If the movie stinks, you'll go to sleep. But if it's a great movie and you're still going to sleep, that's when you have to kind of cut back on the Kit Kats or something.
No, he sleeps through every movie. I've gone to, I don't know, at least a dozen. He has slept through every single movie.
He's a mess.
And he loves movies. One time he was sleeping in the aisle, like he had the aisle seat. And he was leaned all the way over like a tree halfway over. just snoring away. So,
oh, what a fool! Well, he's up here early every morning though, so
yeah,
maybe that's what it is. Something.
He's got a little sleep apnea too. He might want to take care of, but we love Roland, but he doesn't make it through the movies. He said what he saw. He really enjoyed, right?
The opening credits.
Yeah, that was about it. Eric, you liked the movie?
I loved it. I did. The first half, it started to lose me just for a little bit because it was so long. And then there's the intermission, which was weird. I don't think I've ever been to a movie with an intermission.
Yeah, had an intermission.
The second half is ridiculous.
Yeah. I like the intermission, though. Get up, take a leak,
cool.
Stretch your legs a little bit.
You had something weird happen to you, the guy next to you.
Oh, it was just crazy, Eric. It was amazing.
What happened? It was awkward.
Roland takes care of everybody. He gets everyone some beverages, and he just hands them out. He gave me a nice big water, and I put it in my slot. I had one of those lounge chairs. It was one of these theaters with a lounge chair where you push that button, and your feet are up, and you're good.
That's the way to watch it.
No wonder he fell asleep.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And then 45 minutes into the movie, I'm getting a little thirsty, so I was going to reach for my water, but the guy next to me decided that it was his water, and he started drinking my fucking water. Yes. And then he was mortified when he realized that his water was in his lap, and then he fucking drank mine. And then he over-apologized.
Yeah, that was the awkward part.
He kept apologizing. I'm like,
he's like, you should have said something. You should have told me to stop.
I go, it was...
He blames the victim.
Yeah. And then I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to keep apologizing. Who gives a fuck? It's just water. I'll be a little thirsty now. It's fine. Whatever. How are you, Billy?
A little freaked out.
Why? Oh, today? Well, not today.
No, not that shit. I just doing spots this weekend. I saw a woman walk by me with like a half shirt on like December 12th.
Oh, okay.
And everybody's just going like, this weather is awesome.
It's disturbing to me. I don't trust any of it.
You know, they having a summit. They had the fucking, in Paris, they had like the global summit on the warming.
Yeah.
And like the right wing finally admitted that we are affecting climate change.
Yes.
And they just go, yeah, but it's too late now. So
why don't we just enjoy ourselves?
No, it was like when Pete Rose finally admitted to gambling after all those years. No, I didn't. I never gambled on baseball. They finally goes, all right, I gambled. Now let me in the Hall of Fame. It's like,
games are over.
It's like, wait a minute, what? You just lied for 20 fucking years.
He had to, though.
It's time to let Pete Rose in, though, man. Come on.
I'll tell you, we had Pete Rose in here once. He is amazing.
Oh, he's totally amazing. I met him.
You met him?
Yeah, Vegas. He sits there and he signs stuff. I met him.
Yeah.
At first, he was like, who are these weirdos? But once we started talking baseball, he'll do it.
Yeah.
He'll do it all day long.
He was so much...
How do you look in person?
He looks good. He looks all right.
Like swollen?
No.
I mean, he probably looks how I'm going to look when I'm 80.
Well, how old is Pete?
No,
He's
but
in his 60s
athletes
by now, right?
age a little differently sometimes.
60s, dude. When he retired, he was well into his 40s. That was in the mid 80s.
Yeah, he was a player.
He's in his 70s.
All right, then he looks great. He's 74.
Yeah.
I would have sworn he was in his late 60s. He looked great. And he's just so much fucking fun. He's one of those guys that has to punch you a lot.
Yeah. He can't shut it off.
He tells a joke or something, then he has to give you a punch. He was punching Jimmy the whole appearance. Just those little, I'm a alpha male and I'm punching you because I just had a good joke.
Yes. Did his wife, was his wife here too when he came? Did he come with his wife?
The Asian, right?
Little Asian tasty.
I don't remember if she was here. I saw a little bit of that reality show. She's all right, but you a little freaked out by the warm weather?
Yeah, but I'm able to calm myself down. I'm just like, we're doomed to destroy ourselves. And
it's over.
How many generations we got left?
But that's the way. That's how
we got about half left, right? Hopefully. Well,
that's how we got into this mess. Just by selfishly going, yeah, well, Godzilla's not coming during my lifetime, so we'll leave it at that. So. I don't know.
What about the new generation coming up? Will they get a full generation in?
I have no idea.
It explodes.
I have no idea. I can't even watch any of it. Do you know? I think that's why they stopped showing animals on the Discovery Channel. Now they just hot rods and pawn shops. Right. Because I love animals, but you're watching them and like it used to be like the final 2 minutes back in the day on Jacques Cousteau when he showed the bulldozers and people throwing McDonald's bags into the ocean. Then it became like the last half of it. I couldn't watch it anymore.
And now they start with the polar bear on the ice sheet. That's how they start.
They're drowning.
They're drowning because
they go to swim from one ice sheet to another, and they don't got enough. They don't have the cardio.
Yeah. They don't have the arm strength. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They used to be able to hop and skip between these ice sheets or whatever they're called.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, now all it is just, people rebuilding cars and,
Yeah, like
pawn shops and shit.
We can't really show you the animals anymore. It's too depressing.
We got man-made salmon now. They
nice.
They farm it.
They greenlit that.
All right.
So I figured maybe we can make a bag of bees every couple of days and throw them out the window. Just keep making animals.
Bag of bees.
Whatever we need.
Everyone's having fun with the warm weather, though.
This is the golden age. This is the golden age of global warming before some polar bear will swim up to your fucking fifth-floor apartment. Yank you right off your futon.
I like how you break it down, though. Just people are all happy that it's so warm in December. I think we should be a little worried.
It's disturbing.
A little worried.
Oh, you don't look around the corner. But everyone's living in the moment.
Oh, my God, look at me, with a bikini on in December.
One reporter was in a Columbus Circle interviewing two little girls in front of a little Christmas little thing they got going over there. She's like, ain't the weather great? And the little girl was like this, it's all right.
What do you mean
she's
it's
like,
all right?
She's like, I want snow. I'm a little kid. It's Christmas, you dumb bitch.
No, we accepted that a while ago. When I was growing up in this area, we had snow around Christmas every year, and we don't get that anymore.
Even Thanksgiving, we had snow.
Yeah, sometimes.
First snow was, usually November or so.
Yeah, late November, early December.
It was 72 degrees in November.
Yeah, crazy. Not every year that happened before the people actually, only 14% of the fucking time. You know what we're saying.
You just know something's different.
Yeah, I definitely did not see, dude, she was gorgeous. It was like August, what she was wearing.
I don't think humans were ever supposed to notice that the weather patterns were different. They would slowly change over generations, but not in your own lifetime.
Yeah.
I might as well remember sledding in December, and now you're running around in shorts in the park. That can't be good.
I might as well move back from L.A.
Yeah.
Might as well. I mean, you guys are basically, you guys are getting the weather that I used to have, used to be able to brag about.
Yes.
And I'm out there like it's all drying up.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be reverse grapes of wrath pretty soon.
The only selling point LA had is now the same temperatures here.
It's true. Very true.
Now it's hotter.
The average temperature for this date is 38 degrees, and today it's going to be 64.
All right. So it's a little warmer. 26 degrees warmer. 60 all week, pretty much.
Throughout history, the Earth has warmed and cooled on different times.
Exactly.
And then somebody else goes, but never at this rapid of a rate.
They can't, but they're sort of agreeing, finally. Both sides a little bit more.
But what they're going to do
but the only thing they agreed is they just said there's nothing we can do about it, so let's continue. Just
doing what we're doing.
So let's continue making money.
The wall is too wide. There's no point in turning the steering wheel. Step on the gas.
How long can we live with just water everywhere, you think?
You mean like Waterworld type of Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner did all right. You got to tie a lot of things together, I think.
Gills, though. We don't have gills.
They're showing the Statue of Liberty on TV. I'll get nervous when the water's up to the ankles, and then I'll start. That seems to be doing okay still. No?
No.
No?
No.
When does the water come?
It's coming soon.
First the weather, stays warm, and then the water comes next.
We'll all be living in Mexico, like that movie 2012 or whatever it was.
Right.
We gotta move down.
2012.
Whatever.
Mexico.
No, what's the movie with the climate change?
Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't see that one. All right.
No, Day After Tomorrow. Wasn't that the nuclear one?
That was the day after.
The day after. Oh, okay.
Day After Tomorrow's with Jake Gyllenhaal running around. And global warming. And
there we go. We all have to move down to Mexico.
Yeah.
Good old
People's
Mexico.
going the other way across the border. Then what?
Then what is right. All right. Well, you didn't need your winter coat this trip to New York.
No. Donald Trump's going to have to do a lot of apologizing if that's where he's going to end up. He goes to McDonald's, Mexico.
Yeah. Trump is leading the polls, but Cruz is gaining. But they said today that Clinton ties the GOP, but crushes Trump in a general election. Crushes Trump.
We'll see.
But I just love that Trump continues to just bully the media. He's just fucking goes.
It was funny it was funny in the beginning. Now it isn't. It's just like that's all you got to do when all this stuff comes to the surface. It's just call someone.
He's loving it though. He's loving it.
Just call someone a loser.
He's a bigger name now than he was before he started campaigning.
You think?
And he was already had his fucking name on 1,200 buildings in New York City.
It's every day there's just a million fucking Trump clips. Trump on Hillary Clinton. She's killed hundreds of thousands of people with her stupidity. It's today's clip.
Yeah, and he never says anything.
No, he just goes
like if you ask him to back that statement up, and I can't stand Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I can't stand her.
Why you hate her, Billy?
Just because she, I remember when she became a senator, first of all, she went from being the president's wife to then just being a senator.
In a state where she didn't live.
That would be like if Tom Brady's wife became the quarterback of, the Bills. It's like because she was fucking a guy that knows how to do the job. Now she's qualified. And then she showed up with a brand new Yankee hat. And she just goes, I've always been a Yankee fan. It's like, dude, they won 4 titles when your husband was in office. You weren't at one of those celebrations.
Right, now you're wearing that.
Yeah, now you got a brand new. And New York ate it up. She likes her team. Horrific.
She's eating a dirty water Frank and wearing a Yankee hat.
And then she goes, I might not be the youngest candidate, but I'm the youngest woman candidate. Who gives a fuck? All right, you got a vagina. You got a plan? I always vote, I don't vote Democrat or Republican. It's always outside of that. And they're always the ones go, hey, this corporation's out of control. You need to regulate him. We got to, get control of the money supply. And people, he's crazy.
Right.
He's out of his mind. Then those other cunts all say the same thing.
Of course.
Lower taxes, get people back to work, the educational system.
Blah, blah. That's the same garbage you hear every single election.
They're not going to say that.
Do you think Hillary's going to win, though, Billy?
It's a cakewalk for her right now.
I think so.
It's a cakewalk.
Well, you never know.
Trump's fucking up everything.
You never know. People getting scared.
What's the you never know?
Things happen in politics, man.
Dude, can we just get out of the Bush-Clinton fucking vortex?
I don't think we can.
God.
That's what Jimmy says.
Chelsea's going to run in 2020. Nigga.
How about some new choices?
I am psyched, though. Jeb is not even registered.
He's so bad.
Oh, just when you thought George was the dumbest one, huh?
Well, it's more his personality. I don't even know if he's dumb. He seems pretty smart, but he just has a horrendous personality.
As opposed to those other hip Bushes.
I know, but I think he's
their combs in their back pockets.
Fair enough, Bill Burr. I think he's way worse though, even than.
It's his name, dude.
He appeals to old people. I thought he was a genius when he was down there in Florida, but it was like there's a whole bunch of old people voting for him.
Yeah.
And he makes them feel comfortable.
He just looks incredibly uncomfortable. You put a camera on him, and he panics. Or
even
something.
when he speaks Spanish, trying to speak Spanish, it's like, nigga, your wife is Mexican. Right. You should be better at this.
You think he's not that great?
No, he's a phony.
He's like me in high school, just trying to fucking pass. God, I was horrendous in Spanish. Horrible. You want to play the clip? Sure. Let's just play one Trump clip, and then I want to get into some other things with Mr. Burr, who's got a big week, a very big week.
Billy.
This is Trump on Hillary Clinton.
Hispanics. I employ thousands of Hispanics. They love me. I love them.
Already off and running.
Hilarious already.
A little advice to Trump. Give up on them. You lost the Mexicans. They're not coming back.
He's got some of them.
I just pictured all of them
back as a group, though. You need all of them, not just a few.
All right, yeah.
You lost that group.
I just love it. They love me.
Right.
I love them.
Yeah, it's just he just says shit.
It's a love fest.
You love it, though, right, Bill?
No, I don't. At first he was funny, and then he was supposed to go away, but then the dirty rug that he's beating and what is coming out of that is just terrifying. You didn't think
America, though, Billy.
You didn't think that there was going to be like that much. It's unreal. It's unreal. Like that guy yelling, "Get out of my country!" A guy in his 50s, said that to a U.S. citizen. Yeah, he just these are the dumbest fucking people
on the planet.
Yeah, they're like cartoonish dumb. Get out of my country. Those are the same people. You know what I can't stand about the right is they always do that. This country was founded on, and they go into that whole George Washington, I couldn't tell a lie. Yeah. They completely ignore genocide, slavery, indentured servitude, sweatshop labor, robber barons. They ignore all of that, and they just sit there and they read like they literally should be like Tinkerbell on their shoulder. And it's I just spilled all the water on my head. Even them, it's like I just cringe when I'm looking away. It's just like, Jesus Christ, dude.
They talk about like it was some wonderful fairy tale. when this all began, right?
Yeah, nothing was easy. It was all
just wonderful.
And you know what's funny? It was really only wonderful for about like 10% of white people. It was tremendous.
Yeah.
But there is that stereotype that all white people are like, yeah, this is great. Woo!
Yes.
Everybody was suffering.
I think so. Back to Trump. The Mexicans love him.
They love me. I love them. And I think I'm going to do great with women. And one of the reasons I'm going to do great with women is that I'm a leader. I'm not like Hillary Clinton. She's got no strength. She's got no stamina. Everything she does is like theatrical. Oh, Donald Trump said this. He actually, it's sort of interesting. She said, I watched her last night, Donald Trump, looks like she practices in front of a mirror for 2 hours. Donald Trump said, I think he's dangerous. I'm dangerous. She's the one that caused all this problem. With her stupid policies, you look at what she did with Libya, what she did with Syria.
He's not saying anything.
Right. Nothing with substance.
And he calls her theatrical as he goes into like this big impression.
Yeah.
The whole thing is ridiculous. She's stupid. She's crazy. She makes rash decisions.
Right. But
like what?
There's no meat. There's no meat
that's
and
like when he would go like.
There's never been meat with his stuff. I mean, he's tried a little more lately, but
there's nothing. There's nothing there. He goes like, "What would you do about legal immigration?"
Yeah.
He goes, "I build a wall between here and Mexico, and I'd make Mexico pay for it." And all you got to do is be like, "How are you going to do that, Donald?" Get out of here!
Are you trying to say the press they just
security puts you in a chokehold and takes you out for asking a follow-up question?
That's all you have to do to
hole in the ozone layer. Yeah, you stick a jacket in it. Get a ladder and you just climb up there.
So you just have to give him a follow-up question and he'll fold.
You do. All of my he's just like me. All of my arguments, 1 or 2 follow-up questions, they fall to the ground.
I think you just described.
But could that just be the
you
boss?
just described everybody. When you try to, you start showing a little intelligence, and you just hope that no one asks too many questions.
That could be the CEO in him, though. He could just be the CEO who says shit and get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, but who? He should probably start talking about the people he's
going to bring along on his cabinet.
Yeah, some of the guys that
the people love me. I love them.
Right. The Mexicans, they love me.
Mexicans love me. They've forgiven me. I've forgiven them for being Mexican.
Continue with it.
It's actually like it's like when remember that sketch a long time ago SNL had where that guy came to this country. And they kept asking him, so you came to this country and you didn't know the language. And he just goes, that's true, you're absolutely right. And they just keep asking him questions. And he keeps going, that's true, you're absolutely right. He wrote a book called That's True, You're Absolutely Right. And in the end, they realize that's that's all he can say. He's like literally doing that. It's almost like it's a dare. Like, how long can I just not really answer a question?
There are times I feel like might be just punking everybody.
He's not.
Like, this is some big fucking...
No, he's a narcissist.
Fucking, yeah, that's true.
He's deep in it, man.
How would you handle the Middle East? I'd bomb the hell out of them.
Right. I'd make it into a parking lot.
There you go.
But Ted Cruz said he said he wanted to see if the sand could glow.
He did say that.
So,
well, Cruz is finally taking a page out of Trump's book,
and that's when he shut up in the polls. That's when he shut up in the polls last week.
But he could back it up because he's been around a little longer, so he could talk a little more policy.
He said we're going to carpet bomb them, and we're going to see if that sand can glow.
That's
the nuclear threat.
Didn't we do that already? We've already been doing that.
We've done
the only
that.
way,
which by the way,
successfully. When you occupy a country, the only way to do it is if you're not leaving and you commit genocide. That's the only way it works. You can't just go there and half-ass it. Like you got to take the 5th commandment and about 7 other commandments and throw them out the window. Yeah. You got to that's how evil you have to get, dude. If somebody came and occupied this, all right, once they took it over, you're just sitting there, all right. They got the guns, you don't. But any chance you get, you're going to sit there and pick them off.
Right. Of course.
It's got to be a brutal occupation. That's what you're saying, Billy?
Yeah, that's what these guys are saying. They're acting like, they're over there, They got it. They figured it out with Vietnam that when you lose public support, the whole thing is over.
Right.
So they got everybody terrified that you can't speak up to be like, what are we doing over here? Because if you say that, then you don't support the troops and the
you look
kids.
like an asshole. And
yeah, and they totally they bullied it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant what they've done over there.
It's pretty smart.
Pretty smart.
I say.
Not like everybody says.
Let's play the rest of this.
What happened with Egypt? A total mess. We don't back any of our allies. You look, she was true, if not the, one of the worst Secretary of States in the history of the country. She talks about me being dangerous. She's killed hundreds of thousands of people with her stupidity.
What do you mean she's killed hundreds of thousands?
She was Secretary of State. Obama was president. The team, two real geniuses.
Killed
two real geniuses. Of course. Look at what happened. The Middle East is a total disaster under her. She'd travel back and forth.
Dude, did you just see how he didn't even answer it? He just said she killed, and he goes, "What do you mean by that?" And he goes, "She with Obama, the team." This is so stupid. I didn't want to give the guy any more attention.
He deflects.
He's your president, Billy. Show respect.
He's not. I don't think so.
That's your future president right there in front of you. You proud of yourself?
What do you mean? Will you stop with your arrogance? You proud of yourself? I'm the black guy. I know who's the right guy to pick. Who should we pick there?
Did I say it because I'm the black guy?
Yes, you've been doing this for 20 fucking years with your Trump horse shit.
I've been in comedy for 14 years.
There's your president, Bill. Are you happy? Was that your social commentary?
Did you vote? Did you vote last election?
Stop trying to change the subject. Of course I did.
A question.
Of course I did.
You might be the only one in here other than me who voted.
I'm not talking about who voted. I'm talking about that stupid, smug statement you just made to me.
Yeah, I'm talking about that too.
There's your president, Bill. Are you happy? What does that mean? What does that even mean?
You're sitting back doing nothing about it. You're doing nothing. That's it there.
That's it? That's all you got?
That's all I said.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. That was great. That was phenomenal.
Do you think he's voting for Trump?
I don't know. But you're not going to vote for Hillary. So who are you going to vote for if Trump gets the nomination?
Well, you obviously know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my president. Why is that my president?
Because you're going to vote for him.
What does that mean?
You'll vote for him over Hillary Clinton.
What does that mean?
That means that you'll vote for him over Hillary Clinton.
Based on what? Why would you think that? I just told you earlier I usually vote for a libertarian.
But
You're
you
not
just
even
said you hate her. Will you vote for somebody who you hate?
And what was I saying about Donald Trump?
That he's dumb. He's an asshole.
Right. So why would you say that that's your president? There you go, Bill.
That's our two choices. So what are you going to do? Which direction are you going to go?
It's not two choices.
Where's the other choice?
We got libertarians. It's like 20 Republicans.
I'm talking about
running,
a real
20
chance of getting into the White House.
I don't think Burr votes for Trump ever. To be honest with you,
there's your.
Who would you vote for out of these two?
If I had to,
you will? Yeah,
between Trump and Clinton.
Yes.
Oh boy,
it's not just going to be the.
It's going to be one or two. It's going to be one of them.
There'll be the third one.
I'm going to call up Bill Burr. I'm going to find out who the third guy is because I don't know who it is.
I always vote for the third guy, and then everybody always tells me you're wasting your vote.
Right.
That's a waste of a vote.
I don't know who the third guy is, but I will text Bill Burr, and we're going to find out who the third guy is.
I think if you're not a Republican or a Democrat, you ain't got a chance in hell of getting in the White House. Period.
I couldn't imagine voting for either one of those two.
I always vote outside Democrat.
That's all we got.
Republican.
I would go with the old no vote again.
No, you just vote for there's always the one guy that's making
guy,
sense. I don't pay attention this
I'm
fucking
desperately
early.
looking for a third guy and I don't see him.
Well, it's not a third guy that has a chance, but it just
I think Bernie Sanders makes more sense than either of those two.
I like the
I'm just worried that he's 90 years old and his face gets all red when he starts screaming. I'm like, this guy's got hypertension or something.
I kind of like Bernie Sanders more and more. I really do.
Do you think the running mate might help you pick
between Trump and Clinton?
Yeah, deciding on who they pick as a running mate.
I mean, for the radio, you're pushing me here, but I can't imagine voting for Trump or Clinton for reals. And then what? The running mates? What is that going to do? Because I don't really like any of these guys usually.
I mean, sometimes they make you feel more confident in.
Who's Hillary going to pick?
I have no idea.
O'Malley, Martin O'Malley, right? Who else do they have for a running mate over there?
What happened to our options?
That's what we should be worried about. The options aren't that great.
Wow.
No, they never were, dude. The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. That's all he makes.
If you up the money,
and then all of them are even most of the senators. They end their careers. Senators make $180, $200,000 or something like that. Yeah. They're all fucking millionaires at the end. It's like, how do you do that legally?
Yeah.
And the presidents at the end. After they're done being president, they go around and they give speeches for $1 million a night. Nobody's worth $1 million a night. I don't even think Elvis made that, right?
No. Eddie Murphy and Raw didn't make that.
$1 million a night.
Yeah.
And then they give it to the speeches to these corporations. That's just them washing their bribe money. All right, you push that thing through.
So now we're going to take care of
come here and give you 1,000 points a light speech. We'll give you a big bag of money. You beat it.
Beat it.
We'll keep 80% of this and throw 20 at the next guy.
So you're saying there's some kind of understanding You know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's so
you're
to
doing
me,
all this stuff for us.
That's what I mean.
And we're going to get you on the other side after you're out of office when no one's kind of taking.
I feel like it's so obvious. It's almost like they want to get caught. Like when a serial killer starts leaving clues because he's like, dude, somebody's going to stop me, man. I can't even look at myself when I'm brushing my teeth anymore.
Right, I've had it.
The bodies are just. I'm running out of space here. For the love of God, do I have?
I got 200. They haven't even found yet.
Yeah. Do I need to wear an "I'm a serial killer" T-shirt? What do I have to do to get arrested?
I'm going to start putting up billboards. I'm done with this.
That's how New York State, that's what Askelos and his son just got found guilty. His son's on the phone talking about the phone tap. It's like, this dude was brazen. I
will tell you this much. I don't want Trump or Clinton.
Neither do I.
But then again, I don't give a fuck in the end who the president is because I just don't. Because I think it's all bullshit. I think it's just complete bullshit.
No, but there's always somebody who actually says that. Yeah, and if you vote for him, I hold on to. Hopefully, you encourage other people, and gradually you can tip. This is a weird thing when people vote, they want to win. You know what I mean? They want to be like, I voted for the guy that won.
Yeah.
Like, so they feel like you're throwing your vote away. So it's like you're going to vote for that lunatic and you're going to vote for the plumber's wife. You know?
Well, I love when they say you don't have a say in anything because you don't vote. Aren't you making a statement by not voting? Wasn't that kind of the George Carlin way?
No, there's always somebody.
Do you feel like a winner when you don't vote and shit?
I don't give a fuck. I'm not sitting there like, I'm not thinking about it.
Usually we have a third choice by now. Usually somebody else being erased is like, okay, it's like three choices, three hard choices.
Trump could be that third choice.
He's threatening.
Trump, if he's not
Trump's the second choice.
But but the GOP's not too happy with him, and he's like, look, if they don't treat me fairly, what was his exact quote? If you don't treat me fairly, I'll go do a third party run.
Right.
And that fucks it up for the Republicans big time. Then it's a guaranteed.
So what's the problem?
It's a guarantee that a Democrat wins the White House.
Is it the candidate or is it the party?
Donald Trump is Fredo with Sonny's personality.
He's fucking up everything. I find that kind of fun.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
Not joking, in a real way.
All right, let's just get to the end of this clip and then we'll move on to other things.
But look at all the problems. Look at, as an example, Iraq. Total disaster. They didn't get us in, but they got us out badly. Okay?
All right, how would you do this?
You're not going to answer that.
Following Bill Burr's lead here, how would you do it then?
He's not going to answer that.
Of course.
We spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives, wounded warriors all over. Look at Libya. Look at Benghazi.
Done with Iraq.
He knows how to build that panic.
Look at those Crocs. They were all made out of plastic. And now where are they? American businesses are going under.
You think there's just a huge pile of Crocs somewhere out there floating in the ocean?
Oh, yeah, they're floating in the big swirl out in the Pacific Ocean.
Hey, I'm going to ask, do we need to finish this or are we good?
No,
all right, we're good. Fuck it. When you're flying helicopters, have you seen the pollution out there?
I don't see pollution.
Because you're not far enough out.
Yeah, that's way out.
Way out.
But it's supposed to be like 2 miles deep and like 1.5 times the size of Texas.
Texas, I've heard all that. You think that's true?
It's just ducks and shit stuck in it.
And why is there any real video of it? I mean, you can
there is. There is. But if you want to look at it and you want to feel unbelievably depressed, go ahead and look at it.
Discovery Channel did a whole show on it.
Where they show that's as big as Texas?
They got under it. They showed it underwater. They showed the whole thing. It's huge.
Yeah, just watch. You'll see your old rollerblades, a hoodie, that game of Monopoly you threw out. They
Lakers jersey.
That's what blows my mind is everything that you've ever owned exists. It's still on the planet. They didn't shoot it into outer space. It's somewhere. It's in a landfill. It's clinging to a porpoise.
I want my old racetrack.
How great would it be to go back to your old stuff from when you were like 12, 13?
That'd be awesome.
Your first baseball mitt.
My Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox.
Where's my first baseball mitt?
Well, even real. That might be biodegradable because that's like animal skin or whatever. But I mean, all that, your Hot Wheels tracks and all those that plastic shit.
Yeah, that metal lunchbox is still here.
Well, let's go with Hot Wheels tracks from when I was 12. Where do you think that is right now?
Pacific.
You think it made it all the way to the Pacific, or is it still local somewhere?
Landfill.
Oh, it might be it might be in a landfill somewhere local.
But didn't they used to burn a lot of that stuff back then, which is not good for the environment either?
They could have done that, sure.
My mom was trying to save a bill. She burned the garbage right in our fucking house with a wood-burning stove.
What?
Everything went into the wood-burning stove in our house.
If we screw this all up, if we screw this whole thing up and then they have to rebuild civilization, like what archaeologists are going to find about us, like all the dumb shit that we've bought.
Hilarious.
Glow sticks and stuff.
Would that be the most embarrassing one, you think?
Glow sticks. Sweaters.
Yeah.
Was it an utensil for eating? We're trying to figure out.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Very gross.
The Bill Burr is here.
Look at that shit.
I want to talk a little football, but I definitely want to make sure people understand that Bill Burr's in town promoting F is for Family.
Oh, that's right.
And I saw a lot of the first episode, and then I started watching with my son, and then, it's hilarious, by the way. I love it.
Oh, I watch it. I didn't see it.
But the older brother was trying to cop a feel on the porch.
Oh, yeah.
And he's trying to get the girl to, touch his dick and stuff. And I'm like, because I'm watching with my son. I'm like, fuck it. Because I don't care if there's some curses in there. I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, he already understands cursing. Who cares? But then that scene, I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta turn this fucking thing on. I gotta be responsible. But he does jump on the bike with a fucking heart on to go help his little brother who's getting beat up in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it's really, really good.
It's hilarious.
What I've seen so far.
Yeah,
These guys end up seeing the whole episode.
Yeah, we watched the whole episode.
I had to turn it off because I couldn't get my kid to do anything else so I could finish the fucking episode.
What's funny, this is the one thing that I'd never tried to, after all these years of trying to get something on the air, I wasn't even trying to get this on the air. And it just, everything lined up. Like, I'd done the stupid, holding deals and all of that crap. And it just, none of my stuff I could ever get. It was always like, well, what is this going to do for children? This is too, sexist, homophobic, everything you did. Unless you just had some dumb guy sitting there,
Yeah.
So then, and then you tied up in a holding deal, and then you can't do acting on stuff that's actually on TV.
Yeah.
And it takes a year of your career. You're just sitting on the bench and nothing happens. So I was just like, I don't want to do that process anymore. And I went in and I took a meeting with Wild West, which is Vince Vaughn's company, and they were like, what do you got? And I was just like, nothing. I don't have any ideas for a TV show. You guys make movies. I'd love to be in one.
That'd be nice, right?
But I'm not doing the development process. My stuff never gets on the air. And then I was literally walking out the door. Yeah. And I was like, I got this idea for a cartoon, but and they wanted to do an animated series, so they brought me in. Initially, what it was going to be was just I was going to do 5-minute vignettes just animating childhood stories.
Sure.
Put them on my website because I was sick of people groaning them. Like at first, early in my career, they got laughs, and then later in my career, they started getting groans. And the kids who wore helmets when they rode bicycles and had play dates started coming up. Not because they couldn't relate to my dad, just because it was socially acceptable to be like, oh, that's bullying. Oh, that's blah, 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 right? So, of course, I never did it. Procrastinating comedian, I never did it. And I ran into these guys, and next thing you know, brought the great Mike Price over from The Simpsons. And
that's who's doing the animation?
No, Gaumont is the I never know what the right terms are. I think they're not let's see, are they the production company? I don't know who they are. Gaumont's the people that hired the people in Ottawa that draw it.
Oh, okay.
Gaumont's in France. It's a long story. Like France, they really hold animation in high esteem, so you actually get a tax break, so it was cheaper for us to do it with them. It's nuts how the whole thing works. But,
oh, my God, you had to, learn the whole business, huh?
Oh, yeah, dude, this is a 4-year process.
Wow.
To getting to just half-ass pitching it, to getting it going, to selling it, to then writing it, recording it, drawing it.
Wow.
And now putting it out. And 4 years of work, you guys can devour it in about 2 hours and 40 minutes and then be like, when's the next 6 coming out?
Oh, my God.
But now we know what the world looks like and all that. That was the hardest thing. I was thinking,
trying to develop the whole look.
Because you don't even know what anybody looks like. After we draw, I was like, it's going to be great. And then they was just like, all right, what are the, we spent 2.5 months on eyes, nose, and shoulders and how people move. I was like, oh, my God. I have such a respect for writers and people who on that creative level, what we do, Sherrod, it's just hey, do 20 minutes, and it takes 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Do 20 minutes on an animated show or anything.
Take 4 months?
Yes. I don't even know how the math works out, but it was a ton of work, but I'm definitely proud of.
But you had to worry about what every character looked like.
Yes.
There had to be times where you're thinking, oh, man, he doesn't look like the father I was thinking in my head at first.
Yeah, there was
or whatever, or some of these characters, the neighbors or whatever.
Yeah, trying to convey. Well, the thing was with the 70s, too, was we had to push through all of the, how they've depicted the 70s. One of our mission statements was no lava lamps. because they try to make it seem like everybody in the 70s had a lava lamp and drove a Pacer.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember when the AMC Pacer came out, me and my mother saw it and were laughing, going, that is the ugliest fucking car I've ever seen in my life. You could just see all the way into the car. You could see like the person's ankles. It was like, that looks like a giant dinner roll. And my mother was actually concerned. Like, she's like, is that what cars are going to look like? And we were driving a Chevette, which was a piece of shit. But the way that they
there
do
we go. Look at that fucking ugly thing.
I forgot about the back window on the Pacer.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
try to get a rear end shot of that car in the horizontal lights that wrapped around the car.
I guess they were trying to make it look like a car from the future. That's like a futuristic car for the 70s.
Yeah,
I forgot what that looked like from the back.
It's the bubble top.
Oh yeah,
it's the bubble top.
It's so Epcot Center.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah, like we're going to colonize the moon. Is what's the theme of that? And everybody was just like, those cars were considered horrendous. They didn't even last that long.
No.
That's the sporty one with the racing stripe.
You never see a Pacer out there.
Never.
You always see old cars, but you never see like a Pacer still kind of putting around.
And because nobody kept them as classic cars. Nobody kept it. They're like, hey, I got the old Pacer in the back.
I think if you had a Pacer nowadays,
refurnished,
you'd be kind of cool though, in a weird way.
Dude, you can't believe some of the cars you see out in Los Angeles. Though.
I can imagine.
Just because they just don't die, they don't have that salt in the air and
it's
stuff.
Like the Cuba.
Dude,
the
I saw.
You're a big car guy too.
A Pontiac T1000. Do you remember those?
I would have to see a picture.
Pontiac's version of the Chevy Chevette. Okay. They sold like 9 of them. And I'm sitting there going like, oh my God. The Datsun B210. I'm talking about those. There's always going to be like 57 Chevys and classic Shelbys and shit like that, GTOs. You're always going to see those because people love those cars. But those are the cars right there.
That shit reminds me of like my childhood, these cars right here. Like shit like this.
I definitely remember that now that I've seen the picture, yes.
It reminds me of a teacher's parking lot. I don't know why.
No,
the parent-teacher's night.
The student parking lot.
Yeah.
You would see a lot of those.
Dude, there was a teacher in my high school, like, he drove this fucking shitbox. It was like 25 years old. It was a giant American car, like piss yellow. And the driver's side door was... No, the passenger side door, that's right, wouldn't stay shut. Yeah. And dude, he had like 1/4-inch thick rope that he had wrapped around the handle and the headrest of the driver's side seat. Right. And people we would walk by laughing at this guy's fucking car.
Well,
how did he teach in a school where he got to fucking face kids who see his car?
No, he somehow had like a little bit of respect. Oh, there's a guy who put a 4x4 kit on the T1000.
My first car was the Dodge Aspen wagon. You can look it up. And the back doors didn't work, so we put a wire from one door to the other. So then my friends would just sit in the back with this wire across them that would fucking cut them in half if we ever in a situation. Yeah, that's the exact car right there. That was my first fucking car. And they had to climb in and out of the windows if they were driving with me.
That was like the Griswolds.
It is a family truckster.
But my dad, his logic was, instead of trying to get the doors fixed, we'll just put wire from one door to the other across the whole back seat. And that's how
another thing.
That's how I drove
ghetto.
It was. We grew up ghetto.
But that's how.
Rod. You'll be proud.
That's how that swirl started. When nobody would do those little bullshit repairs, you had to throw everything out and had to become new again.
Right. Yeah.
People used to get shit repaired, or you just did stuff like that.
Yeah.
Had your 8-year-old hold the door shut as you went down the highway. Hold on to your brother while he holds on to the door. So there's a lot of that in the F is for family. The Bill, smoking and drinking and.
Look, for guys,
I want to see some of it.
It's great.
I don't know about this.
For guys our age, it's perfect because it brought me right back. Well, I mean, the first episode you're bragging about getting the character obviously is bragging about getting a 33-inch TV.
Yeah, color TV. Yeah, that weighed like 10,000 pounds.
And they would, and no one's brilliant about that scene. You were that's how they would sell it. How heavy the fucking TV was. Because I guess the heavier the TV, it just meant that
the better the picture.
It was just a better quality, TV.
Dude, they were so big that when they finally died, you wouldn't throw them out. You had to wait till your kids were big enough to help you carry it out. So then you get a smaller TV and you put it on top. Yeah.
Before you know it, you got a fucking
my
9 TVs on top of each other.
My last heavy TV, I just moved to New York. It was about 2002-ish, I guess. And this thing was so heavy, I was starting to make a little money, so I spent some money on a TV. They actually rolled the box into my apartment. They rolled it in, and I sat there. These guys were fucking scary, so I didn't question them. And I was just hoping the damn thing would turn on when they finally got in the living room. It was that fucking heavy.
Remember when the tube would go? The tube would go, and then you wait for the TV repair guy.
Right.
And he'd come over, and he'd put a new tube in it. That's the thing that I do miss, is like, you could actually get shit repaired back then. You didn't have to throw everything out.
Into the ocean?
Yeah. Oh, like my wife recently got the microwave. Like, she found somebody and got it repaired. She wanted to get a new one. I was like, first of all, I fucking can't stand those things anyways. I go, there's got to be some old guy
who fixes,
some pliers, somebody who can fix this thing. We actually found a person, and just the fact that he didn't throw it out.
You know what?
You know, one of the saddest places on earth is when you see one of those old VCR repair shops. Somehow, it's like, how is this place open?
There's always like 1,500 behind him that people just didn't even come back to pick up.
They just said, fuck it.
The complete chaos of the inventory, and somehow the guy knows where everything is.
That's probably how that happened.
He's dressed like the man from Chico and the Man, some old beat-up brown hat.
Oh, shit.
That's a lost art form, though, the repairman.
The repairman.
When was the last time you had a repairman in your house for anything?
That's like when your cell phone dies. That's just it. You give it to them, they repair it, then they give it to some poor kid in I don't know where.
Yeah.
Other side of the planet.
Only repairman that I even remember is fucking Maytag repairman, and he raped Arnold and Willis.
No kidding.
Arnold and Dudley.
Good old Dudley.
Dudley.
We're at a time where now when something breaks, your mindset is, time to get a new one. You don't even think maybe I could fix this fucking thing.
Those TVs used to be furniture, though. We used to consider televisions like furniture. They had to have drawers and shit on them.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
What was that?
But
and they still on the planet, out there floating in the Pacific.
Well, the F is for family. When is it? We got a couple more days, right? The 18th, I think?
Yeah, it comes out Friday. And would like to tell you some of the people who are on it. Laura Dern does the voice of my wife. Justin Long plays Kevin.
Oh, I love it.
Sam Rockwell plays Vic, the next door neighbor. Haley Reinhart does the young voice of me, which was the hardest thing to find.
Who?
Haley Reinhart. She was actually a finalist in one of those shows, American Idol or something like that. But it's very hard to find a voice actor to do a little boy's voice, because if the boy's complaining, and the voice hasn't changed yet, he's going to sound like a little bitch. You know what I mean? So she's got that raspy thing. So it was hopefully not annoying. That's what we were trying not to get away from. But Debbie Derryberry, Mo Collins, Kevin Farley, Michael Richardson. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of people in there.
Who does Kevin Farley play?
He plays Babe. And a couple of the other, he does some of the outer characters.
Okay.
And but what's great about the show is we already have something to develop his character even more, God willing, if we get like a second season.
And it's a series too, because each episode leads to the next one, right?
Yeah, the serialized, which I didn't want to do.
Probably should have used.
I didn't want to do that. Because I'm an idiot. I was going like, let's just do it like The Simpsons. Everything stands alone.
Yeah.
And that was Netflix idea.
Okay.
And I was like, why would they want to do that? And then within like 2 hours of writing that way, it took it to a whole nother level. I was like, I'm an idiot. I get it, because this makes people keep wanting to watch as you go along.
You got to see the next one.
And I would assume but each episode absolutely stands alone in its own right.
Right. But so how we're going to do it is each season hopefully is going to be a semester of these kids' school. So if we do like 5-6 seasons, the kids will only age like 2 years. So
I was going to ask you about that, because all the cartoons we grew up with, no one aged.
No one aged. We'll try to keep it.
You age them a little bit.
Age them a little bit,
just
because I always think that like what's his face? The biggest, craziest one that I saw, Child Star, like changing from one season to another. Do you guys remember that show, Alice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the kid, Tommy.
Tommy
Was like the most adorable kid ever, and then he came back with this fucking long, thin head and these giant horse teeth. He looked like he was 25.
Yeah, he was like 7'4" when he came back.
Yeah, he came back.
There he is. He's like,
look up there.
That's the problem with working with kid actors. That's why even with Chris Rock, with Everybody Hates Chris, they have to shoot everything in a row.
Yeah.
Because these kids grow up so fast. They got a different face on the next season, so you got to do it. You got to do it all summer, all winter, all spring.
He was this cute little kid, and then he came back. He had like this horse head. This long.
Yes, he was a weirdo.
I see it. That's hilarious.
Can I mention one thing about Bill's show?
Yeah, you got to see it too.
Yeah, I loved it. The one part that really made me laugh, it was the TV show that the dad would watch, the cop show.
Oh, right. Colt Luger.
Yeah, goddamn. And it's that old 70s cop show where the guy's got like a big gut and he's an older guy.
It's the old in shape, out of shape guy.
Yeah, what it's supposed to be, Colt Luger is like a guy who used to be a movie star, and he was definitely a sex symbol back in the day, and now he's doing TV. So and then he's always, anybody he fights is always some minority. They're always half his age, totally shredded, but inexplicably he wins the fight with his bastardized like kung fu. Because that was like right around then, like people were trying to understand what Bruce Lee was doing. Like one of the great fucking karate scenes you'll ever see is Frank Sinatra in the Manchurian Candidate.
Yes.
When he does that thing where he's just sort of has his hands in karate chop mode.
Right.
It was just classic. They were kind of doing something like this in the war before we were shooting. They had some sort of stance. I can't remember with the post-traumatic, the shell shock of it. So, so he's got a catchphrase. A man's got to do what a man does.
Yeah. You could do a spinoff just of that show, and I would watch that as well.
We're thinking about doing a full episode on the...
Smart.
He's one of our favorite... and he's total sexist.
Yeah.
And, he slapping women.
He pushed a woman in her face. Yeah. It really made me laugh.
The good old days.
You certainly feel like you've seen that TV show growing up.
Yeah.
So we use the TV. The TV is where, like, a lot of the, we couldn't have the characters just going around, like, being over the top. Like a lot of the sexism, the underlying racism and all that is in the TV with the ridiculousness of the commercials and the way that they advertise them. Like he works at the airport for Mohican Airlines, and they have this, Native American, one of those offensive logos and stuff that was considered not even remotely offensive back then.
They didn't even think twice back then.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, you wait till you see the episode. We actually do a commercial.
Oh, good.
For Mohican Airways.
I think this F is for Family is going to just destroy.
And how long did it take to do the 6 episodes? Like
4 years, he said.
Well, I mean, the whole process.
Once they greenlit it.
From the thought to the 18th, 4 years.
But to actually the creative process, we finally, this is a show, you have the money, and start writing. That was September of last year.
Okay.
And it took us about a year to do these 6. But like a lot of that, though, we like I said, like 2 months of it was literally sitting there going, okay, what does this world look like? And really describing. We were like, we don't want Saturday Night Fever, that New York, because that was shot then.
Yes.
But by the end of it, they just distilled it down to what John Travolta was wearing in that movie. So everybody had a collar out to here and platform shoes. So we were trying to be like more like Rust Belt, Serpico era, that early 70s Vietnam War just starting to end. So we got out of the whole disco thing, which has been done to death. And like Kevin's into like, prog rock.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we got a band.
Fuck, I can't wait to see all these.
Oh yeah, we got an episode where he goes to see his favorite.
What prog rock? Are you mentioning actual bands?
No, but he's into this prog rock band, and he wants to go see them.
Yeah.
And they're opening for like this Led Zeppelin type band. It's one of those bad bills. Like why would you put this band on in front of this other band? Which always happens as a comic. So we have a lot of that type of stuff. Going to a football game's another one. What the stadiums used to be back. Like you go there. You just had the giant trough that everybody just peed in.
Yes.
Dude, I remember when I went to Fenway Park.
Yes.
Fenway Park. I swear to God, they had like troughs that faced each other. So you were standing there, you just had that junk out. I remember standing there like on my tiptoes trying to piss into this fucking horse trough. And there was all these fucking guys with their hairy balls and dick out. And it's just like...
As a little kid, it's disturbing.
It totally was disturbing, but it was just considered like, whatever.
I don't remember actually having it so where you could go on both sides of that to pee. I don't remember that.
They had, like, it was...
I remember those things, and they would just put all the ice in it.
I just remember being eye level with every hairy cock at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
little boy.
And it might be the traumatic way that I remembered it. I might have came walking in and just the angle.
Tippy-toeing, I remember doing
it was a lineup of dicks. It might have been that. I can't really remember. As far as that's how I remember it is there was a trough and then there was a little space like with some sort of water, and then on the other side was another trough, and people just standing there. Dude, nobody had stage fright back then. You're just take it out, let's go. We've all fought in a war. Who
You're
gives a
absolutely
shit?
right. You just pull it out. Fuck it.
My biggest fear as a kid was touching my dick on that fucking thing. I had to tippy toe every time because it was just one size. They didn't have a lower one for children.
Dude, it would just be able to get the helmet just over the
holding
over
their
the top.
sons over, standing on the side of the rail.
As a little kid, you just get the helmet just over
Right
the top.
It's gross.
They had none of that shit figured out. They didn't have urinals for kids yet.
You stood there pissing right next to your dad.
Or you remember that they would lift up the kid.
Yes, they would lift the kid up or have the kid standing on the edge peeing in there.
Yeah, all that shit. What? A lot of this, I mean, that's why this thing is going to be so damn good. A lot of this stuff is in.
I want to see Billy's character. Where's your?
For family.
Can we put it?
It's
which one are you?
Well, Billy does the voice of the father.
And the dad is an amalgam of all of our dads.
Right. But who's the character playing you? Who the chick's doing the voice?
Haley Reinhart, Little Bill. So that's
Little Bill.
The kid, the sister Maureen.
Okay.
So I memean, I had like 4 brothers and a sister. So there's only two boys and a girl in this, and
yeah, I like. I've heard some interviews that you did, and in the writers' room, it was pretty much everyone's experience growing up that you threw into.
Yeah,
this.
well, I wanted my family and everybody to be able to watch this and not be like mortified. I wanted them to see like elements of like, I remember that, like that. I'll put you through that fucking wall. Like my dad used to say that.
Yeah,
and he did one time say it. We were outside. And he was mad. And I'll put you through that fucking wall. Immediately, like he's pointing at the woods. So we're sitting there like snickering, like wanting to be like, yeah, Dad, there is no wall. We're outside. We're outside. But like,
you don't want to say that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You need some more lines, Dad, because we're not inside right now.
Yeah, you need a new catchphrase.
Yeah,
Your catchphrase only works inside.
Yeah,
I know it sounds silly because it's a cartoon, but they really did capture the look of the 70s. Even like the woods. Even like the woods where you go out there and there's old like washing machines and shit you would just find out there in the woods.
Yeah, and there was always the new housing developments
right.
that they were building, and like
go play around.
There was no internet. Yeah, there's no internet, so you'd steal lumber to build a tree fort.
Yes,
or you just throw rocks through the windows.
That's right. The tree forts that's in the scene.
You were one of the throw rocks through the windows. Because I've told that story too. I grew up with a kid. I used to say his name. Maybe I shouldn't anymore. And we would run through the developments. I thought, oh wow, we get to go upstairs when the house isn't even built yet, and go in the basements and stuff. And we're just having like, easy fun. And then this kid that we would run with for a little while, I finally had to tap out. He was the one taking the rocks, going, fuck that. It was just taking out windows in these of these houses in these new developments. And I remember as a kid being scared shitless, going, do you remember, this isn't fun anymore, man.
We used to go in there like, dude, we were like, I swear to God, I was like 6, 7 and hanging out with kids who were like 5.
Yeah.
Just be a cluster of kids. And you go into a house and they had just started to build the stairs. All they had was the framing of it. So they didn't have the piece of wood that went across. So we would be like going up on the skinny piece of wood.
All that, yeah.
And it was like, the one that led from the main floor to the second floor was right above the basement. So if you fell, you fell straight down all the way down to the dirt.
Completely remember all this.
Yeah, and your parents used to just let you go outside. Like, go outside, and then you'd run into your friends, and then your group of kids would run into another group of kids.
Yeah.
And with your kid brains, you would decide what you were going to do that day.
Yeah.
And there could be anything from let's play baseball to let's throw rocks in somebody's pool.
But my thing was, the excitement was trying to get upstairs when there's no staircases and go, wow, this is cool. And then, we
did that in abandoned buildings.
Would just pick up these boulders and throw them through bay windows. I'm like, can't we just do them? It's already fun.
Yeah, we didn't do that every time, but a couple of times we did do stuff like that.
We played in abandoned buildings, not so many new developments.
See, I would have loved to have done that. I love going.
One of my boys was in junior high school. It was right next to our school, and every time in lunchtime we used to go in there and play.
Yeah,
my boy Sam fell through the floor. It was like 3rd floor, 2nd floor, fell through that and landed in dog shit.
Come on,
and it was the greatest moment of my life.
It has to be
a pile of dog shit.
I remember saying to my childhood friend, I would just say to him, hey, you want to go play with matches? Like you would literally just, and you'd go, you'd like get some pine needles together and you just light them on fire, like right underneath the tree. I set the woods on fire one time, and thank God this guy was there. He was over there in 2 seconds because I was near his fucking house. And he had a giant like trash can that he had filled up with water. And he just kept dumping it on there. Another one of my friends, he lit the woods on fire to the point the firehouse had to come down and put it out, and he was so nervous he went down to the firehouse and ratted out my brother. Really? Going like, I think I know who did it. You know that they knew they were lying, but we knew it was him because his dad used to have, we used to call them monkey matches. Right. He had these books of matches. Remember back then, like monkeys doing human things was considered hilarious. So he had these books of matches, and it would be like, a picture of a monkey like with a cigar playing poker. Right. So his dad used to, I guess, found those funny. So we saw those, like the evidence there, so we knew it was him. And, this just, there was no internet. There was no video games. So you lit shit on fire.
I have a similar story. Our story ended a little differently. It was me and my two brothers. We're all almost the same fucking age. And we did the same thing. You start with little pine needles, little dry leaves, and then you get bored, like, I think we can handle a bigger fire. And then we got the army men, and they're melting. Yeah. And then I remember, like it was yesterday, just a little wind, over to this next pile of leaves. Fast forward, the whole fucking woods are on fire. The fire department shows up and has to put out the fucking fire behind our house. It was getting close to our neighbor's house. What? It was really bad. And as kids, we're thinking, we can handle this, and we're like trying to stomp out the fire with our little fucking sneakers. And then they lined us up in the backyard. And I remember from school that oily rags could start fires. Yeah. So they're fucking questioning us now. Like, do you guys know anything about it? And stupid me, I'm thinking I'm gonna get us out of this. I'm like, I remember seeing some oily rags in the woods. Idiot. And then we grew up with it was a big house with woods behind us. It was our playground, and our punishment was we fucking were grounded for the whole summer and couldn't leave the fucking driveway. And as a 12-year-old, we were probably even younger than 12. That was fucking torture. And then our friends would come over and our cousins and stuff, and they'd be able to run in the woods because we had tree forts and all that shit up there. Right. And we had to fucking hang out on the driveway and watch everyone else.
And your parents
in our
stuck
playground.
with the punishment too.
Yes, they did back in the day. Yeah. Now you feel guilty after 5 minutes. Like, all right, fuck.
Dude, we used to have a rule. We had a rule in our house when we were little. If you didn't finish your dinner, your supper, as we called it, if you didn't finish your supper, my parents would take like cellophane, wrap up your meal, stick it in the fridge, and you had to eat it for breakfast.
Oh, yes. Right.
Yeah.
So it was, so you learned to not waste, right?
Sure. Are we long lost brothers?
I think
These are all the same exact fucking story. That's
the worst thing was when, I remember if you had like cube steaks, which were hard to chew as a 6-year-old when they were hot. It was such a piece of shit part of the cow.
Is a bad guy.
Eating that for fucking breakfast while everyone else is having waffles, and you got that in half-eaten green bean casserole.
God. But that was normal too.
That would be considered abuse. Dude, my mother one time was driving down the street. My two youngest brothers were acting up, and she goes, "I swear to God, if you two don't knock it off, I'm pulling over to the side of the road and I'm spanking your bare butts right on the side of the road." And they just kept going. They kept going. And my mother pulled over, spanked their bare ass on the side of the road. All I remember was people driving by, blowing the horns, laughing their ass off. Dude, nowadays they would
call a cop immediately.
You're arrested.
They film it and they take your kids away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had the same thing with our food, but my mom would set up a timer, too, to put that little extra element into it.
Like you have to eat before the timer went off?
Whatever it was,
you
10 minutes.
10 minutes to eat your plate?
It's prison.
But I swear to you, I don't remember what would happen if that fucking timer went off. Maybe nothing. Maybe we never got to that point because we were pretty scared of my mom in general growing up.
Dude, I remember one time my mother made something we fucking hated. It was this sandwich spread. It literally looked like vomit. I swear to God, it was just like she'd grind it up in this fucking meat grinder. Yeah. It was called sandwich spread, right? And we hated it.
Was it like pickles or something smashed up in it?
There was pickles in there and bologna and just pig noses, and I don't know what. It was fucking gross.
It was called like a sandwich spread. I don't remember that.
Yeah. It was gross, right? So she made this shit, and we hated it. We say, we're not eating it. And she'd be like, it tastes good. And we'd be like, Mommy, it looks like throw up. She'd be like, oh, it does not. And it totally did.
Yeah.
Ooh. So we were sitting there just trying to force this shit down. And she loved it because she's like, you guys are going to sit there until you finish that. So then she could actually clean the house or do whatever the hell she had to do. And we were like quarantined. So I remember one of my brothers, I still can't even rat him out. He took 3/4 of his sandwich. And was crying, laughing. He took it and he just dropped it behind the stereo. Like there was this. My dad had this giant wood thing that he kept the stereo on. He just dropped it behind there.
No.
And we were laughing our asses off. And then what was funny was she was just like, "Did you eat it?" He goes, "Yep, ate it all up." And then we just got on with our lives and completely forgot about it. And like 4 days later, it's just reeking. Behind there was all ants and stuff. And, then there's usual, who did it? Nobody would rat it out. Then everybody has to go to bed at like 2 in the afternoon, and you're just laying in your bed wide awake with all this kid energy.
Holy fuck, I remember that too.
Yeah.
They would send you to bed and the sun would still be out for some punishment.
That'd be the worst.
But I'm one of 7, so I think that was just like, we need some fucking time to ourselves. So everyone's going to bed at 4 today because that one acted up.
I remember if I got sent to bed, we lived in a split entry.
Yeah.
So our bedroom, the windows were at like ground level.
Yeah.
So if I got sent to bed early, my brother or somebody would be like, "Yeah, why isn't Bill out?" "Oh, he got sent to bed for whatever." And then they'd knock on the window and start giving me shit. And I'd get all mad, start crying in my bed.
You're playing basketball right outside your window and you're in bed for the night.
Oh, having a great time and just laying there wide awake.
Completely normal behavior when we were growing up. I have 2 kids. I can't imagine doing any of this stuff.
One time,
I can't imagine.
I found my mother had these old coins.
Yeah.
And I stole them and I flagged down the ice cream man. And I got like whatever, I got like whatever the fuck I got, some ice cream cone, and then I just gave him like something from the 1800s, and he just looks at it and is like, "All right," and just fucking drove away. So then I eat the ice cream, and then the guilt, like the telltale heart, the guilt is just on me. So I just literally go to my mom and go, "Hey mom, do you have any old coins?" And she was all excited, thinking like was showing interest in something intellectual, and she couldn't find them, and then she realized that they were gone. And then it became like, what's going on? Who took this? And nobody knew. And then of course we were looking for them, and I of course found the little satchel that she had.
Yeah.
It's like, I found the satchel behind the toilet, like I'm a good boy. And then I tried to blame my brother.
So you brought it up to take your name off the suspect list.
There was some guilt.
Burr
had some guilt.
And the whole thing blew up. It all blew up in my face, and that was another one I remember going to bed. Like you go to bed with no supper, or just go to bed in general.
I forgot until this day going to bed early, not like 7 or 8, like in the middle of the afternoon. You brought up a great memory. And we would all have
torture.
And like Bill said, they would find an excuse, because you acted up, everyone is going to bed now. Or because we can't figure out who did this thing, everyone goes to bed early.
Yeah, my parents would line us all up, just stand there going, "Who did it?"
Right.
"Who did it? You do it?"
Yeah.
"Who did it?" And we'd just sit there. I remember one time my older brother had gotten into some paint, and he painted the Matchbox cars. It wasn't that big a deal, but you're not supposed to do it. You got some paint on the floor.
Yeah.
And they just kept going, "Who did it? Who did it?" We were standing there forever. I'm like, my fucking feet were falling asleep. So I finally just go, "I did it." And my mother goes, "You did it?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "All right, go to bed." Right? It's like fucking 1 in the afternoon. I'm like, fuck. So I go down and go to bed. And then my older brother came in. He's like, my older brother's going like, "Bill, you did it? You did it?" And I'm thinking in my head, like, "No, you did it, you fucking asshole."
Obviously,
I was
you
like,
did
I'm not
it.
going to stand there for the rest of the day.
Right.
You had 50 opportunities
right. You
to admit it.
Right. Of course I didn't do it. I'm looking at a still of F is for Family, and like you said, he nailed the 70s.
Yeah.
That's linoleum in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Remember linoleum?
Dude, the phone on the wall.
Well, that's
a great joke in there, too. But yeah,
No, I mean, the phone is that. I mean, whatever. It's more the linoleum. That's great detail right there.
Yeah, we worked really hard on
the horrendous
I can't
colors.
wait to see this thing. I can't
colors,
wait.
everything's
The
orange
horrendous
and yellow,
oranges and browns and
lime
greens
green.
that we grew up with.
Yeah.
That was modern back then. Back
70s
then.
was brutal.
Orange, brown, green.
Well, look, having said that, what's cool though is if you didn't grow up in the 70s, there's still enough of this,
Oh no, it's Bill. You're gonna do great with this. Come on, F is for Family.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's on Netflix. It starts on Friday. You can watch all 6 episodes.
Now that you got the whole world established in there, it's easy to do episodes.
I'm hoping next, God willing, if we get like a second season. I mean, I don't know if that's 10 or 12 that we got to do, but like, You know, dude, like, the episodes are just something simple, like, hey, let's go throw snowballs at cars. Like, that's something, or somebody takes the family car out, or somebody's, tries weed for the first time, or it's just like, it was all like, that's what the vignettes were going to be. It was just like, our family looked like Norman Rockwell.
Right.
So it was just going to be like, family gets a Christmas tree, which is a total Norman Rockwell thing, but it's all the dysfunction.
Of course.
But then it always came back to, in the end, you had the fire going, and you were decorating it, and there was really this thing, but then there was all the psychological damage of all the shit that happened.
Of course, to get there.
Up until the, oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, there's a,
yeah, it's, that's awesome, man.
That's great.
I gotta ask you about the pie crust video going viral.
That's over 600,000 views.
What is that?
I've known Bill for, 15 years now, probably. Yeah. I had no idea you were such a cook, for real.
Wait,
like,
what?
you really like cooking.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I had no idea.
I had no idea until right now.
I'll be honest, when I saw the pie crust video, I'm like, oh, Bill's, fooling around here, and it's funny, whatever. And I'm like, then I heard you on I heard you on Rogan and some other places, and I'm like,
oh, I bought Rogan I saw you.
Pies. I didn't see. I was listening. You brought like 2 or 3 pies, but it turns out Bill really likes cooking for real.
Therapeutic, ain't it, Billy?
I like to bake. There you go, Sherrod.
I see it down there.
What's really interesting about the video is that he does a great job. I watched the whole thing. Yeah. He has no idea what any of the things are called. You got this metal thing, you turn it. It's my grandma's. I don't know why you do this. Look, it makes it better. You got the little balls of shortening in there. Like,
see, I thought this was, I thought this was a goof video. Like, Bill's going to fool around with some cooking, and I'm like, no, he really likes cooking.
Now, bacon is more serious than cooking because you got to pay more attention to bacon.
Nah, people make a big deal out of it. It isn't.
Really?
It isn't. Nah, and I think if you're off by just a hair, it's not going to work. It's all fear.
I'll fuck the crust up.
Nah, you could do it, dude. It's not that difficult. Just watch the video.
I took a cooking class, and
look at that, 624,000. Oh, that thing's got more hits than my fucking special.
It's moving too. We'll tweet it out today. It'll get a few more. Yeah, and then I learned that you sit and watch you've always watched cooking shows and all that, right?
I used to, I watched.
I'm addicted to them.
I watched the Food Channel Jump the Shark. It used to just be the great chefs or whatever cooking and teaching you the principles of it. Like, I used to love Molto Mario, which was he would just be in his kitchen and he had some friends over, which is one of the great things simple. You can do, is make a meal for a friend. It's one of the greatest, most simple things you could do. And he would just, I learned a lot of the principles just watching him, and then all of a sudden it just became, Emerald came around and started going, bam! You take it to another level. And he just started screaming. And he had a band and shit, and now all of a sudden they're all like, who can make it, here's your ingredients, salmon and a banana. Make me scrambled eggs. Oh, I don't know. They made it all stressful. Like, cooking is relaxing. Yes. They just had to, like, ramp it up, and I hate that Iron Chef shit where it's just like, you got 20 minutes to make a souffle. Yeah. And you got all these people running around freaking out. So
they pushed they got a little adrenaline.
Everything's a contest.
There's adrenaline now.
Oh, and that guy driving around to fucking greasy spoons. Yeah.
Good old Guy Fieri does
his skin cancer,
He's rock and roll. Guy Fieri's all rock and roll.
With the backwards sunglasses.
Yes.
He looks like every guy, when I go to see a band I saw in the 80s, that I see in the crowd, and I just think, oh, God, I'm old. Oh, no, I'm old.
I like Chopped. You like the show Chopped, where they give them like 3 ingredients and make them battle?
No, it's stupid.
I like that show.
He likes it. Just
it's a good watch.
I used to be educational, and then it turned into this whole just screaming and yelling and all this shit. Like I've been to almost all of Mario Batali's restaurants. Right. I think Lupa's probably been my favorite here.
Okay.
I've been to his place out in L.A. The one that he had, was it Babbo? Out here, dude, that's when they just they have like pheasant face ragu, like all this shit that you would never eat. That gets me a little, that got me a little queasy, but,
no, I mean, you want it all slow and nice, 'cause it's like meditative too, really. You're just sitting there, you're not really thinking of anything, you're just you're kind of in the moment, right?
It's great. Yeah, Mario Batali, the well method, you make homemade pasta.
I don't know any of this.
Shit.
You make your own pasta?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if
What's
I have
the well
time.
method?
The well method is basically, you just have your flour and then you make a little well. And that's what you put your eggs in, and then your water, and you swirl it around, and it gradually turns into the. It's great. It's like a kid. Yeah. It's like a
science project.
It's like a mud puddle. You get to play in a mud puddle.
But you get to eat it at the
So everybody told me I fucked this part up there. What I'm supposed to do is roll the crust back onto the rolling pin, which I didn't know that thing, and also to use lard rather than Crisco. And
so they're giving
lard.
They're giving you pointers.
Yeah, so then I get better at it.
Right.
Look at that pie crust. God damn it.
I'm not going to lie to you. That looks delicious.
That's pretty damn good, you son of a bitch.
Do you cook weekly when you're home?
Yeah, I just learned how to. I smoked some ribs last week.
You got a
learned
smoker?
how to do that.
Good for you.
No, I had the big green egg that you can.
You can rent?
No, you turn it into like a smoker, sort of. I would actually like to just get a smoker, but.
Billy's been holding out. This motherfucker's a chef.
I had no
I'm not. I'm pretty decent though.
But
I enjoy cooking though. Cooking is one of my. It's like just a personal time. It's great.
Come on, look at us.
Get away from everybody. Oh shit! This motherfucker. Nice.
Swipe to the left.
How long you did it? How long you had to smoke that for?
Just like 4 hours. And my smoke only was really coming out for the first hour and a half, and I thought I fucked it up, but it's still nice. See that? Not bad. Not bad for a pasty fucking son of a bitch.
That's like fucking good meat.
You're out of here at 8:30, Bill?
Yeah, I am media boy today.
You already gave us a great hour. I want to, before you leave, I want to ask you about the Patriots. I saw the first half of the game last night. They're looking damn good again. Gronk is back.
These last couple of weeks when we lost, I mean, that Brady was driving a rental. The Lambo was in the shop. Everybody was hurt.
You had two losses in a row?
2 losses in a row.
Yeah, because they looked at that Eagles.
Which is great. I think is great because that year we went undefeated. It was an albatross around our neck. Everybody got all amped up to knock us off. What happened was we got busted for cheating, right? The video thing, right? Which most people think, oh, that's how they won all their championships. They don't realize that was the first game that it was illegal. It was a brand new rule, and we were cunts, and we kept doing it, right? So then they questioned all our titles, and I feel like what they did was like, oh, okay, well, this is what we could have been doing. And that's when we ran up the score. We did that through September. And then by October, everyone was like, well, you're not going to come in here and embarrass us. And we played like a playoff game from like mid-October all the way through to the end of it, and the hype was so big that when we played the Giants, the hype was so big. Like we played the Giants the last game of the year that year, and the score was like 37-34. We gave up 34 points to them. By the time the Super Bowl came around, we were like 14-point favorites or something a month later. That's how many people had bought into it, and Vegas was just trying to get money on the other side of the ball. So I love that we lost a couple of games, but I think. I believe in the Panthers, man. I really, because they got that sick ass defense.
They do.
And I don't think Cam Newton is afraid. Like Cam Newton is not striking me as that guy. He's got to get there and learn. The playoffs are a different thing. No. I don't think he's that guy. I think he's just like, yeah, whatever, man. Let's just play.
I think you're right about that.
I think he's a natural fucking leader.
Yeah.
Player.
Yeah.
And he looks like a movie star. Like he's one of those guys. He could have done like 12 different things. He wasn't so big. He could have been an astronaut. He's one of those guys.
Well, your quarterback, it looks like a movie star.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does.
You got the movie star quarterback. But my quarterback, not so much. Ryan Fitzpatrick, not so much.
Not so much.
But the Jets are hanging in there, 8-5.
So what do you think the Panthers? In there. The Panthers are better off losing a game now before they get to the playoffs?
No, I think that it's okay to be undefeated in like the South, or to be like Indianapolis. They went 13-0 like a zillion times. There's no pressure.
Right.
It's Indiana.
Right.
But if you do it on the East Coast, where all the media is and all that, it becomes like this
bigger thing.
Storm. Yeah, like dude, the shit that Jim Irsay has done.
Right.
Okay, he did it in Indiana. Nobody gives a fuck.
No one gives a flying fuck.
If you did that, if you did what he did in New York City,
you'd be the mayor.
Oh yeah. No, but you can't be like, you can't be, you couldn't be some pill-popping psychopath. and I'm not trying to be a jerk. I mean, God bless the guy. He had a problem, but he was allowed to work it out out there in Indiana. If you did that in New York, it would have been over.
Yeah, you can't work it out on the East Coast. But Gronk is back. I thought he was going to be out for the season. Turns out it was a deep, bone bruise or something?
Dude, the guy was running full speed. If you look at it.
I saw.
Dives in with his helmet and just clips his kneecap.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
The other night I fell down the stairs, like the final four.
What?
I didn't turn the light on, and I didn't want to wake up my wife, and I'd had a couple of scotches. I was definitely tipsy, but I wasn't like, movie drunk.
Yeah.
And I slipped, and I fell down the final 4 stairs, dude, and my foot went sideways, and my ankle bone just clipped the wood stair. Oh my God, dude, I was in a heap. My wife jumped up like, oh my God. I didn't even make an attempt to get up. I was just laying in the fetal position.
How long were you there?
It was one of those things. I hit it so hard.
Yeah.
It actually took to like probably 3 days later for the real pain to set in. I mean, I just had the scraped skin, so the air hitting it, that hurt, and I was like, all right, I'll be fine. I'll be fine in the morning. Then in the morning, I was like debating on whether I could wear socks just to have something up against it. So I can't imagine
what he went through.
A cornerback running with a 440, diving in and just clipping your knee with an NFL football helmet.
And Gronk, has had a lot of injuries, but he said that was the worst pain he's ever felt.
I believe it.
It looked like it. He looked like a fish out of water. He was just flopping around. I don't ever want to feel that level of pain.
Brady needed him back.
Turf toe, people say hurt a lot too. Like turf toe is just as painful.
Right.
I don't want to see any of that pain.
Speaking of football, I got to say, man.
Or as alcoholics call it, gout.
Yeah. I got to say,
it's rich man's disease.
The Buffalo Bills 30 for 30 that premiered over the weekend is fucking good, about them losing the 4 Super Bowls. Scott Norwood still has pain. Still.
To this day.
And he's aged way more than the rest of the boys. Almost more than Jim Kelly, and Jim Kelly's been through hell and back.
He didn't choke, he just didn't hit it, if that makes sense. He kicked it straight, it just never hooked back in. He had the distance. He didn't look nervous or anything. It's just, it was not a gimme.
It was one of those things.
It was a 48-yarder on grass, and I think they said that it was a 50-50 shot for all kickers in the league. Not just him.
Did they bring up the fact that Belichick was the defensive coordinator and shut down their high-powered offense? Mm-hmm. That was the real story, I think, more so than...
Yeah, they lost to, they lost to the Giants, then the Redskins, and then the Cowboys twice.
Yeah!
Cowboys destroyed on the last 2.
The boys, babe!
But it's a great 30 for 30 because you can see those guys. They're trying to make it a positive story and how great the team was.
They'll build it around the Don Beebe, the Don Beebe slapping the ball. Of course they did.
It just shows how this city doesn't quit.
Right.
And they dust themselves off and they get back up again. They use it as a metaphor.
You didn't see the 30 for 30.
No, but
that's exactly what they do.
Because they've done that. They've already done that a zillion times.
But BB got his Super Bowl.
You're down by 50, yet you didn't stop.
But you never give up.
I think that right there is what makes this country great.
It was Leon Lett, right?
Yeah.
Showboating.
Oh my God!
And then BB knocked it out of his hand, even though the score was like 51-3 at that time. I don't know what the exact score was.
Leon Lett
it was way over that game.
He had like 3 of those plays in his career. He had that one. He had the one where, don't touch it. Game's over, and he dives on the ball.
Dives on the ball and kicks it out the fucking back of the end zone.
Or something.
He's an idiot.
And at least no one saw that it was on Thanksgiving.
That's right.
People were busy. I'm listening to Belt Buckle. They didn't see that.
Leon Lett enjoyed the blow, didn't he? Did he have some?
I don't know. I don't know this.
Off-field kind of activities. I think he did.
We know a little bit about Dallas just from some people we know, but I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever he did, it didn't affect his on-field.
But BB got his, and then Polian got his Super Bowl too with the Colts.
BB got his with the Packers?
Yeah, 90.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was at that game.
That's right, against your Patriots.
Yeah. When, what's-his-face ran that kickoff back, we had end zone seats, he was running right at us. I was
Desmond
we still got a shot? Yeah, we're right in. And it's just, I think it was just started the half or something.
But
all right, that was cool.
You think the Giants going to beat the Panthers this week?
The Giants, like the football gods, love Eli Manning.
They do.
They love that man, and he's a fucking gamer. I'm
even
actually
at Ole Miss, same shit.
Even as a Patriots fan, I actually love the Giants. I love Steelers. I like defensive-minded teams, but dude, that guy is he's Freddy Krueger, man. You can't kill that guy. He's got like a 5-7 record, and they're only like a game out. It's like that happens to Eli.
It's a shit.
And he also totally delivers. I'm not trying to, but I'm just saying, that guy. If you give him anything,
you can't count him out ever.
No. Not at all.
I agree with you.
He's the Manning you do not want to run into in the playoffs, because even if he does something messed up, it's always like he throws it behind him and the guy catches his helmet in his tape. He's got it on his tape, and he runs it in, touchdown. One of the most unbelievable, inconceivable. It's just like,
that's right.
It's just unbelievable. Like, and I would say it was rough, but he did it twice. Paul Verzi, you guys have in here. He's a huge Giant fan, and he said something that I think is really on the money. He goes, what drives him nuts, because he's a huge Giant fan, he goes, you know what it is, Bill? He goes, they fucking play to the competition.
Yep.
If they play a great team, they play great. If they play a shit team, they don't even show up. It drives him him insane. But he doesn't. He thinks that their defense, their corners are not up to snuff.
Well, Verzi was cool, man.
Yeah,
we finally got him in here.
Oh, that's right. He said he had a good time.
All right, man.
Said he had a good time.
I like Paul. We'll have him back. I got to go back to the 30 for 30 because they also they film a lot of it around Niagara Falls and them staring because all they want to do is get across the river. That metaphor, and they never got it.
Nonsense.
And there's Norwood. Looking at the falls, just all they want to do is get across.
Somebody should have pushed him in his back like he's Billy Burr at a urinal.
They weren't able to. A lot of people say they lost their first Super Bowl besides the Norwood kick because they partied their asses off.
Oh, did they?
They got down there early and really enjoyed their time.
So they were like the Mets in a way, the 80s Mets.
Right. And then a lot of people say, well, the reason they lost 4 was because the AFC was so much weaker than the NFC, and they proved that point wrong. They were like 14-2 against the NFC over the course of the 4 Super Bowls, I believe. And
you know what's interesting is if Norwood did hit that, you gotta, like they always say, like, you know, how many does that change the psyche? Like they would automatically maybe win another one. It's like, but they also could go the way the Bears did, or way the Mets do, where you're so good that, you know, everybody gets like an ego. You ever see Pat Riley, one of the great speeches, and I actually read this in Bill Simmons' book. He had this speech, The Disease of More, which is basically when you win one, then everybody wants more. They want more playing time. They want more money. They want more endorsements.
Right.
Rather than being like, dude, this was the formula.
Right.
Let's stay there.
Yeah. Now you're gonna fuck with everything.
A lot of distractions come into it after that. Yeah, all the opportunities that come with winning the championship.
Some of the decisions people make, like in some of these contracts, like that guy the Red Sox signed for the third. I never watched baseball. The third baseman from the Giants. It's like, dude, you just won a World Series every other year 3 times. Like, how does that get old?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to take extra money to go there, or what's his face, your second baseman going out to Seattle.
Right.
Taking $200 million to be out there in the rain for the rest of your career.
It's tough to say no to all that fucking money.
Yeah, but you're still going to get Yankee money. Who gives a fuck if you get $160 million?
Exactly. You get more endorsements. He went out there on the island. Nobody even knows him now.
That's the thing. And the thing about it is, dude, if you hit like 300 in New York, is like hitting 380 in Seattle.
Yes.
As far as the attention you're going to get, it's just how it works.
Right.
I think it's nuts.
One other thing about the 30 for 30, because I'm a little distracted. Thurman Thomas lost his helmet during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember this?
He couldn't find his helmet.
And it was fucking, these guys work with Harry Connick Jr. It was Harry Connick Jr.'s people that fucking took Thurman Thomas's helmet during the Super Bowl because they needed that. They were getting ready for the halftime show.
Oh, really?
Yes. What? And then all of a sudden, Thurman Thomas, and it was important. It was an important series. He's not in the game because he doesn't have his fucking helmet. And they pointed to Harry Connick Jr. and his people that they moved that fucking thing.
I knew it was the reason why I hated Harry Connick Jr.
They finally found it.
Harry's the
what he needed as a prop to put on his piano.
Supposedly, one of his people, they were clearing the area, and it's a Super Bowl with a helmet, and they're like, "Oh, let's move this helmet because we're getting ready for that halftime show."
Get that helmet out of here.
And it's Thurman Thomas.
The Saturday.
How many plays did he miss? Like 3 or something? But
it was just one play. He ran out on the field.
Was it only one?
He ran out on the field without it. And it was.
He probably would have fucking said, "Fuck it, I will play without a helmet." That's how important Thurman Thomas was to that team.
Why didn't he just wear somebody else's helmet for a couple plays?
I don't fucking know.
Because he plays for the Bills.
Bill says it was only one. They make it sound in this 30 for 30 like they were all.
No, I don't know. As far as I remembered it as just being one play.
Okay, but that was kind of important for that Super Bowl.
Yeah, when your Emmitt Smith can't find his helmet, I'd say that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick is the story, dude. Bill Belichick shut down John Elway and the Broncos in '86, the Fun Bunch or whatever the hell he called them, the Three Amigos.
Yeah.
Right.
He shut down the Run and Gun in 1990. He shut down the Greatest Show on Turf in 2001 when we played the Rams.
Oh,
Dude,
right.
I remember I went to that game and they were going, all the Rams fans going, it's just a scrimmage. Why'd you even show up? And blah, 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 blah. And
what's Big Boy on Houston's name on defense who they shut down last night?
J.J. Watts. He was hurt though.
He was hurt.
He had his hand all wrapped up and stuff. Thank God he was hurt. That guy
was
a monster.
non-factor.
He's
last night.
Dude, speaking of that, you guys watch the UFC?
I saw the highlights.
Wait, what happened?
You don't know what happened?
One highlight.
I was sleeping.
Well, there were other fights, though. I'm just saying.
It would take me longer to tell you what happened than the fight actually happened. Dude, this dude...
McGregor
This guy who had not... I don't know shit about fucking MMA. All I know is this Brazilian dude
Aldo,
who could have starred in every action movie in the 80s and not been bullshit. Like, this guy was the man. He has not lost in 10 years.
Right.
Here it is right here. Here is it.
This is the whole fight there, Sherrod.
What? It's quick?
This is the whole fight.
No.
This is the whole fight.
Okay, this is crazy.
And Aldo was favored.
Green trunks from
McGregor.
The notorious Conor McGregor.
Here comes the whole fight.
Jose Aldo Jr.
Oh.
And bam.
Good night. It's the whole fight. 13 seconds.
Oh, shit.
13-second knockout. McGregor's the new champion.
Oh, shit.
A lot of people didn't give him a chance to win this fucking thing.
Oh.
Knocked him out of 13 with that left
shit.
jab. That was a jab officially, right?
Yeah.
I'd call that a hook. Jab.
Left hook.
Was that a hook?
Yeah.
A hook? Left hook?
That was awesome.
It was pretty...
I feel bad for that dude.
115.
Aldo.
that guy he had like tears in his eyes going like, that wasn't even a fight and blah, blah, blah. We got to do it again. And
he got to move out of Brazil.
I mean, it just...
Oh, he dropped him like a bag of dirt.
He just... Dude, you know what? Look at how quickly he's got his arm up to do that with a hammer fist. Watch when he... right where you pause that.
Ooh.
No. Right, bam. Just...
But that first one on the chin caught him.
That hammer
dude, that
fist
UFC
does not look
shit,
fun.
Dude, that UFC shit where you get knocked out and then you still take 4 before the guy can jump in. It's always like, It's just like... That's the knockout punch is always great, but when the guy's laying there and it's like you're beating a dead fish, it's just like, for the love of God.
It goes from get him to, oh God, somebody stop him.
It's like, it's like taking a mini bat to a bluefish.
The first time I ever saw that, that's what it is. The first time I ever saw that was like one of the original MMA fights. And the guys were still fighting in gis. And I just remember this black dude fought this white dude. And somehow the white dude ended up in like the Jesus position. Like he had like just sitting there with his arms like that. And the black dude was like the fucking cross. And then the guy's head was wide open and he just started elbowing him in the head. And it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And it just kept going. Mm-hmm. And the guy was out by the third one. So the bar, when he first started hitting them, the bar was in, this is when they went, dude, it was fucking like, and dude, you'd never seen anybody like get ragdolled like that, dude. If you guys can somehow find the clip, the guy's literally, he was bringing his knees, the black dude was bringing his knees up to his chest to make the white dude's head closer, and he'd slam him with the elbow, and then he'd straighten his legs out, so he was just going like
his whole body going down.
It was like doggy style, but it was elbow to head. It was fucking
They cleaned it up.
Brutal.
The early days of MMA or /UFC, Bill's got to go, was brutal. They've cleaned it up a lot.
The referees are paying more attention now.
They get in there a lot quicker now. There was a time, I don't know the exact rule, but there was no breaking, they
got all younger referees now. Do you see the referees in UFC now? You see younger dudes.
Dana White realized we got to clean this up a little fucking bit. When it's obvious the fight's over, that's it. Let's get in there.
Stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a great... Aldo.
See, there's even a YouTube video. It's called Brutal Beginnings of the UFC. It was definitely a lot different, man. Look at that fucking baseball on the side of the guy's head.
Dude, you remember...
Oh, my God.
The classic one was that when the boxer came in, somebody came in with one boxing glove on. I remember that.
Really?
because he was like a boxer, so he's like, all right, I'm going to load up with the right hand.
Yeah.
But considering this guy can like grab onto me, I forget what it was, but I just remember the guy got taken to the ground. Maybe he had on 2 boxing gloves, but like now you're just laying on the ground.
Go. You're right. This guy has 1 boxing glove on.
Yeah.
It's called Brutal Beginnings of the UFC. I would imagine this is just rough to watch.
Yeah, once he gets on the ground, now he has on 1 mitten. He's just like...
It's the oven mitt.
So here you go now, like, look, he just passed his guard. Now you know what he's doing. But I remember me and Patrice, we used to watch this stuff going like, what did he... Because we'd see, like, somebody would get on top of Hoist Gracie, and you're thinking, oh, my God, he's going to get killed. And you see the guy being like, all right, just tapping out. We had no idea what they were doing because, like, all that jiu-jitsu and submission holds was not mainstream knowledge.
Right.
Like, nobody knew.
Right. You didn't realize the guy was about to break his leg or his arm, and you couldn't see it. Just because of, how they were...
Yeah, he just tapped out. Wow. You had no idea. But for years, like, all the martial artists, they used to just argue, like, my style's better than yours.
Your style, right.
I love how I act like I was in on those conversations. I just remember kids in high school.
remember those, though.
But kids in high school be like, I take Taekwondo, I take Aikido, my style is this, my style is that. This was actually... all of the styles against each other. Taekwondo guy versus a boxer and all that.
That was great.
And then it became, everybody's like, all right, we need a little stand-up, we need a little bit of that. But the original ones of those is like, dude, that's like fucking Thunderdome, man. Those things,
I gotta watch this.
Absolutely.
Oh!
Yeah, we'll tweet out this video. It's called Brutal Beginnings of the UFC.
It's like bar brawls.
Fox Sports.
Oh, yeah, you could just kick somebody in the head if they were on the ground. I think, like, eye gouging. And, dude, it was one of a guy just punched the dude in the balls.
Oh, he just stopped the dude. This is great.
I think the worst move in UFC, I know Bill's got to go.
Yeah, I got to go,
is the foot stomp. When they stomp right on the fucking bare feet.
Dude, I hate the ground and pound when they just sit. I love they're just taking these forearm shivers to the face. Yeah. And the guy taking them is looking over at the clock going, all right, 30 more seconds of this. And then I can regroup.
Yeah.
No, they're like the toughest people ever. I got to go, though, guys.
All right, listen. Bill Burr, man. For real. Thanks, buddy.
I love you, Dum-Dum.
Love you, too, man. Thanks for having me, man. F is for Family, December 18th.
Yes, Bill. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got to check that out.
We're going to take a quick break. F is for Family. It starts Friday on Netflix. We will be back. I think Gilbert Gottfried's coming in today, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. And then a little later, Bruce Dern from Hateful Eight.
Oh, that's crazy.
The great Bill Burr.
Bruce Dern.
Bill up!
Hey, I'm working with his daughter.
Laura. I know, Laura Dern. All right. Jimmy will be back tomorrow. He went and saw the fight.
Yep. Oh, did he? Oh, that's right. I saw him and had a picture with Aldo. Maybe Jimmy rubbed off on Aldo and got him beat up.
He was all over the place. Jimmy was like in the third row for the fight. Got to ask him tomorrow how it was, the whole thing.
The whole 7 seconds of it.
I don't know. The people that did stay up and watched, I pussied out. I was going to rent it.
What time did it finally come on? Midnight? Around midnight?
I got a text from my brother-in-law down there in Philly, and he basically texted me. He goes, "Did you see that?" And I knew something good happened when I saw that text at like 7 in the morning. And went right to the old computer, and then, oh boy, did I see it.
I felt bad.
But I didn't have to stay up till 1:15 in the morning. But he thought it was awesome.
I thought it was awesome, too. I didn't pay money for it.
They paid. They didn't care. They didn't care on this one. They thought it was awesome.
Wanted to be part of it.
Well, it was an upset, too.
Oh, Jesus. That's what Billy was talking about, this clip.
Yeah, we found the clip.
Yeah, I don't even want to. I can't.
Pretty good.
I know it's good. I can't.
Oh, good God Almighty. He's banging his kid's head.
Yeah, it's brutal. The early days of the old MMA. Best MMA knockout ever. Gary Goodridge destroys Paul Herrera. That's what it's.
It's like Fight Club.
Yeah.
Let's see a little bit of it.
All right.
Oh my God! Good God! What, referee? What are you doing?
They allowed that.
He hit the guy in the face with his elbow 15 times.
That's why people really loved this when it first started, because it was basically, I'm going to insult some people, but it was basically Fight Club. They just kept going and going.
Oh.
Yeah, they allow them to get a whole bunch of extra shots in before they finally said, okay, we're stopping.
Okay,
I forgot what the actual rule was back then.
How did nobody die? Is my first question.
No kidding.
Second of all, what about concussions? If you get a concussion playing football with a helmet, what did that motherfucker have?
Exactly. I don't know.
His brain have to smash up against his skull.
I'm sure it's not good. I'm sure it's not good. That's a good question. I don't have the answer, but I know.
Where are they now? Let's find this dude and see if he... What?
Paul Herrera. Whatever happened to Paul Herrera?
He's definitely not a college professor right now.
Oh boy. Anyway, and I want to go back to the 30 for 30 on the Bills because my old roommate Buzzy just checked in. I love the Buzz man. Let's see. We were roommates forever. And we went through those Super Bowls together.
Oh, really?
I was living up there. That's why,
right.
Actually, that's why it's no joke. I really do like the Bills, the Jets, and the Patriots because I lived in all those areas and fell in love with these damn places.
I like Buffalo. I like the Bills. I like them this year, too. But
well, they didn't look. They needed to win yesterday. They didn't get it done.
They didn't.
They needed that one badly.
They still better than the Cowboys.
They needed that one badly yesterday, though. So it's not happening.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's it's a wrap for them this year. But I lived in Western New York, Rochester, Buffalo, through this whole, and I went to college in Geneseo, Western New York, when the Bills were amazing.
They used to go to those snow games, was like a whole bunch of snow on the ground up there?
I've gone to more Bills games than any other, way more than Jets games. And I grew up a Jets fan. I'm a Jets fan as well. Yes, I know this is stupid, but I went to way more Bills games. Because my radio station in Buffalo got the tickets to the games, and then all the fucking executives would go to the early games when it was still nice.
Right.
And then when the weather changed up there, they're like, fuck that, we're not sitting on... I'm sure Buzzy's laughing somewhere because it was always me and him. Yeah. And then the executives would tap out. They're like, fuck this. And then they would... I'm a nobody, low man on the totem pole, and they're handing me the tickets because they didn't want to go to the stadium when it was a block of ice on your seat. They couldn't get the ice and the snow out of that stadium back in the day.
Is this the same stadium they're playing now?
Yes.
Same stadium.
Yeah, but I'm sure they figured out
upgraded some shit.
Yeah, I'm sure they figured out better ways to get rid of snow removal and ice. I remember, I think it was the Saints game up there many, many years ago. We actually sat on a block of ice. They couldn't get the ice off the seats. So you had 2-3 inches of ice on your actual seat, and then where your feet were another block of ice. Just trying to get to your seat, you're sliding and slipping and falling all over the fucking place. So we got to go to so many games because the executives weren't going to deal with that shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they need a dome up there.
Nah, I like that.
You like the outside elements?
Yeah. Well, now that I'm older, maybe not so much. Back then, you had a little flask and you did everything you could to stay warm. Yeah. So,
it's also 64 degrees in December.
Exactly. So. Yeah.
So you're good right now.
Yeah, I think we've had one snow game this entire NFL season. The Broncos a couple weeks ago, I think. Right?
Yep.
Oh, that was the Patriots and the Broncos. Right. They played with a little snow a couple weeks ago. Anyway, so the 30 for 30, I was talking about the Thurman Thomas thing where he lost his helmet during the fucking Super Bowl.
Right.
And then Eric tells me that he had a habit of leaving his helmet on the 34-yard line.
It was a ritual.
It was a ritual.
Because his number's 34.
Correct.
But I think for the Super Bowl, you probably should have your fucking helmet right next to you at all times.
That's what he gets trying to follow voodoo.
So he's got his helmet just hanging on the 34-yard line. I don't know where the fuck he is. And then he has to go in for a key series, and he doesn't have his helmet.
Right. But you would think they'd have an extra helmet or something to give to a...
Well, it's nowadays I'm sure they got all that shit figured out.
But they got an equipment guy who...
There's still that time where, they didn't have every single little
But if he has to do the ritual of that 34-yard line thing before every game, that means that he has to use the same helmet.
That's true.
But you would think you would get some equipment guy or something going, watch my fucking helmet.
Exactly.
Because I got to keep this tradition going. And then Harry Connick Jr. was the halftime show.
Right. But
he's a guy you two are working with.
Correct.
And
I hate him.
He's the best. Don't say that.
And
I'll punch her in his Harry Connick face.
And how they say, I think they say it in the 30 for 30, someone from Harry Connick's camp moved the helmet because they needed that space.
We just read the story. When they cleared the field for the halftime show, the stadium people, when they cleared it, they moved the helmet. It wasn't Harry's band wouldn't.
I heard Harry use it as an ashtray.
It was Harry. I'm going to blame Harry.
He's the best guy in the world.
For one of the four Super Bowl losses.
He's the nicest guy in the world. There's no way
he's a loser, and he deserved what happened to him on Independence Day.
Oh, yeah, he died in
That's right.
an alien attack. But you know what? In that film, a lot of people died from the alien attack.
Not Will.
I got to blame Harry. The 30 for 30 is hinting that it was Harry's fault.
It wasn't the halftime.
We needed one Super Bowl. Buffalo needed one fucking Super Bowl.
It wasn't the halftime. It was he sang the national anthem.
Oh, national anthem.
And I'm sure they wanted the field to look nice, not have a helmet sitting there at the 34-yard line.
Well, when are they singing the national anthem if it's in the middle of the game?
If Harry's singing the national anthem, why would he walk on the field and grab the helmet?
They mentioned Harry Connick Jr. in this 30 for 30.
Because other people cleared the way for him. It wasn't him.
But if it was the national anthem, that's before the game.
I saw footage of him personally moving the helmet off the 34-yard line.
So he goes on the field to make sure that everything's clear so that he can perform.
It says right here that his helmet was moved to make way for Harry Connick Jr., who sang the national anthem. So it was not cleared. It was cleared by the people who worked.
Crooner.
Well, then the 30 for 30 got it wrong because they're pointing the finger right at Harry Connick Jr. and his people.
I think it's rightly so.
Thurman Thomas's helmet during the Super Bowl.
Why? He's the nicest guy. Why would he sabotage
But here's the problem.
Super Bowl?
Here's the problem. It's a football game, all right? It's football, and it's the sports, it's the athletes there. We don't need these fucking theater types coming down here moving out equipment.
Yeah, but it's not like he said, I'm just showing up and doing it. They asked him to do it.
Well,
I want him killed.
But you would love the guy. He's the nicest guy in the world.
I'll tell him send me some weed.
I'm sure
I don't think he would send you. He doesn't have weed.
He has weed. Stop thinking he's an angel.
I'm sure
he's got a dark side, that Harry Connick.
He doesn't.
I know the father.
Don't panic. I'm sure he's a lovely person.
He's the best guy in the world.
We're not questioning that, but
I'm questioning.
You're going to meet him. You'll love him. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Well, now that I know that he might have taken Thurman Thomas's helmet himself,
he didn't take his helmet.
At this point, I think it was Harry Connick Jr. himself.
Yes.
Right, Sherrod?
Don't move a man's helmet, Harry Connick Jr.
But don't you think if he went and picked up a helmet, there'd be a shot of it? Don't you think people would have been like, oh my God, why is he picking up that helmet?
I think if he picked up the helmet, he'd be like, why is his helmet so heavy?
To be honest with you, that part of the 30 for 30, I wasn't listening that closely. So, but I think it was Harry Connick Jr. So
you weren't listening. It's not. So you just.
I heard Thurman Thomas helmet. Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, but then you put the two together to form that he stole the helmet.
Let's just all agree that Harry Connick Jr.'s involvement in this story is the most athletic thing he's done in his life.
That's not true either.
These guys.
Can I say his dick tastes funny?
Oh, don't
shut up! Stop defending this son of a bitch.
No,
these guys are doing a TV show with him.
Yeah, he's the nicest guy in the world.
Don't you see them looking at each other?
I said, I fungu him.
No, the Stangles are looking at each other, panicking a little bit. They want to make sure the Harry Connick Jr. Segment doesn't go too far.
I'm gonna make that check bounce.
Anyway, my buddy Buzzy, this is why it was important for that Super Bowl. Thurman missed the whole series.
He missed he missed 2 plays.
The whole series.
2 plays.
And then it was 3rd and 18. It was too late to come in after.
Who's a bigger Buffalo Bills fan? You, Eric Stengel, or my buddy Buzzy? I'm going with Buzzy's text message. All right, good answer.
Yeah.
Thurman missed the whole series. Kenny Davis, who was the backup, ran the play designed for Thurman. Because they had to, because fucking Thurman's running around looking for his helmet in the Super Bowl. This is how crazy
That's what's ridiculous, though. That's crazy.
Thurman would have hit the hole. They showed it. They do show it on the 30 for 30 going, this was made for Thurman. And they show where the hole was, but Kenny Davis panicked and didn't run the play properly. Thurman would have hit the hole, according to Buzzy. Kelly had to run a keeper because Davis ran to the wrong side. That's right. And on another play, he ran the wrong way, so then Kelly had to fucking keep the ball. And then he writes, great special, I cried. Norwood looks as old as Marv Levy.
I usually cry for 30 for 30s. Those shit's gonna get you.
Yeah.
They get you.
All right, I got more info. And then he writes, because then I asked Marv Levy, they showed him during this 30 for 30.
Yeah.
He's 90. So I was thinking they had old footage of him. It turns out it's current day footage. I'm like, this guy looks fucking great for 90.
Really?
And then Buzzy writes, yes, he's 90. He was nodding off on stage at Andre Reed's Hall of Fame induction last year. And then he writes, we're back to Harry Connick Jr. Stangles.
Yeah.
From Buzzy, he writes, Harry did the national anthem, not halftime. Okay.
Yep.
That is why it was the first series of the game that he missed.
And just for the record, tell Buzzy that Thurman Thomas had 13 yards rushing for the game, while Kenneth Davis had 17. So actually, Davis might have been a better option that day.
Wow, 13 yards rushing is awful.
You see what these Stangles do? you understand
you got the facts.
You understand how they're sneaky? They're
sneaky. All we do is present the facts.
Sneaky.
Jim Kelly had more rushing yards in that game than Thurman Thomas.
Wow.
Boom.
What did I tell you about things? Like I say at 7 o'clock, if we don't have the right rhythm and pacing right off the bat,
that's fine. I agree with that.
I find the first 5 minutes of radio show are extremely important.
Probably the most important. Yeah,
it sets the rhythm of the whole day. All right, you could come back from like a shitty first few minutes, of course, but in general, if you get like in our case, we try to start with a cool song and get right into it and the rhythm and the pacing, and then you're gonna have a good show. My point is that Thurman Thomas got all fucked up on that whole first series.
It threw him off.
And it threw him off, Sherrod. It was in his head.
Yeah.
All I can say is this.
Yeah.
Since Eric and I have physically been in here since, May?
Yes.
We've not had a bad show. So I don't even know. Like, I can't really relate to what you're saying, because as long as we've been here, we've never had a bad show.
Okay, so you can't relate to it.
Mm-mm.
You see what the Jews do?
They're sneaky.
You see what the Jews do?
They're crafty.
We're just very good.
Crafty.
They're crafty.
The Jews are crafty.
We're just very good at what we do.
They're crafty people, and they're very litigious.
You're very crafty.
I have a team of lawyers who's ready to go.
Yeah, you do. Black belts.
Yeah.
Black belt Jews.
Is there anything else from 1992 we want to discuss? Look, it was on this weekend. It's a great 30 for 30, this Bills thing.
Wait, what year was it they lost to the Redskins?
92.
That was 92.
That was the second.
Damn.
The second out of the 4, I believe.
Who
the
was
first was with the
quarterbacking?
Giants.
Doug Williams? How long ago was
Mark
that?
Rippon.
Oh, Rippon.
That was Rippon. Mark Rippon. Wow. Okay.
He won a Super Bowl.
Yes, he did.
Oh, shit.
Let's get Gilbert Gottfried in here.
Gilbert?
Harsh, man. That was not a good day for Thurman. Punching out. See ya. Gilbert, how are you,
There
buddy?
we go.
Good morning,
Good to
sir.
see you, sir.
You know Sherrod Small?
Of course he does.
Yes.
We go back like spinal cords.
We're talking, we don't have to, but we were talking football right before you entered the studio there. Gilbert, are you a football guy?
Oh, can't you tell?
You don't give a fuck about football.
Yeah, I'm a big football guy.
He's a retired linebacker.
Yeah.
No football ever? You never got into a team?
Yeah, boy, that Joe Namath's got a good season.
Any sports ever for you?
And he was so good in C.C. Ryder. And Jim Brown.
He's
got also he was in 100 Rifles with Raquel Welch.
Nice.
That was a sexy movie.
Yeah.
Raquel Welch was always sexy.
I don't know whatever happened to O.J. Simpson.
I think he got married.
I'll tell you really fast before we move on, the 30 for 30 with the Bills.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
Oh, had old footage of him?
They put him in there. I'm like, that's ballsy, because everyone else is like, they've fucking burned their O.J. Simpson footage.
Well, O.J. was the Bills.
He was, but he's prominently in this thing as a sideline reporter and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Holy fuck. I thought they would just say, let's make sure O.J.'s not in this thing. But anyway.
That's worth the watch.
What's up, Gilbert? We're not gonna talk football with you. I just figured that out.
Oh, well, I have a podcast, Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes.
Yeah.
And I'll be at Caroline's this Thursday.
Nice. 212-757-4100 for tickets to see Gilbert at Caroline's. Have you seen Hateful Eight yet?
No.
We did.
Quentin Tarantino's movie?
We did.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't even hear about it.
I got one on you. You do the movie podcast, and I've seen a movie you haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I like old movies.
You don't like
the... Yeah, I mean, I do a lot that have to do with old movies on my podcast. Like, we had on Giano Russo. Who was the guy who was Carlo in The Godfather.
Okay. Yeah,
that last scene where he goes, hello, Carlo, and chokes him.
Yes.
In the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had him on...
Oh, yeah. I was on Fox News with this guy before. He's great. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Gianni Russo.
Yeah, Gianni Russo.
Yeah.
How many movies was he in? Was he in a lot of stuff?
He's a good guy.
I don't know. What?
I met him a couple times, but I was on Fox with him before, and he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I think maybe his wife, too, was there.
55 movies.
55 movies.
Wow. Yeah, he's a worker.
See, because I can only name one. That's the Godfather. Maybe these other ones pop up on Cinemax at 3 in the morning.
Actually, 55 credits. So
55
it's
credits. He was in
Files,
Kojak.
Yeah,
Kojak.
You can't count the Rockford Files.
Why not?
Rockford Files, best show ever. Of course
That's a
you
movie,
can.
I mean.
Oh, no.
I asked how many movies.
I think of the Rockford
Kojak,
Files,
the TV
each,
series.
Each episode is its own movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Bravo on that.
Oh, okay.
Bravo on that. Are you ready for the Hanukkah for you, right?
Yeah, I hate the holiday time anyway.
Yeah.
What do you hate? Why you hate it? Hate the traffic or the shopping?
Just
all the people
everything. I hate being under pressure to give someone a present.
Yeah. Me and my wife made a deal last year. It was the best deal ever. Let's not get each other anything. That was an easy Christmas. That was nice.
Just to pull yourself out of it.
But now we're like, do we start it? Do we do it again this year, or is that a bad habit to start?
That's why I just turned Muslim every December 1st. And then January 1st, I'm back to Christianity.
It was nice because we're lucky we can buy whatever we want.
But you still, do you still have like whatever, garbage men or doormen or gas station
That's the
guys.
pressure.
Yeah.
But that's just money in an envelope, Gilbert. That's
I
easy.
give them comedy show tickets.
Oh, yeah?
I go that way. I go to get some free tickets from like the strip or somewhere, comic strip or a comedy seller, and I was going, here you go. And they love them.
Oh, yeah?
The doorman loves those.
Oh, geez.
They ask for more, so.
Do you live, you live in one of these buildings, Gilbert, with a lot of people coming and going? Maintenance people?
Oh, not what? Not. I don't have a doorman. No.
My building, they give you the tips, the list every year
of everybody's name.
It's a lot of pages.
Yeah.
Kenny just did it for me, and we're done. But it's something like 36 people I got a tip, something like that. 36 people in my
fucking White
building,
House?
and they all expect it. But then you give them the envelope, and they're all surprised, like, "Oh, geez,
yeah.
wow!" Even though it's so obvious, you better take one of these fucking pamphlets and pay everybody on this list, or your mail's going to be shitty. And we're not opening. I don't need them to open doors, by the way.
How's it 36 people?
It's maintenance people, it's security, it's concierge, it's the pool guy that runs the gym area. That I barely use because I like getting out of my building. It's a lot of this too.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a couple thou.
Yeah, you gotta, fuck that shit.
I think close to 3,000 this year.
Yeah.
Year after year,
see
3,000.
now there's a reason to hate
Christmas.
the holiday.
Yes. I agree with you. And I don't even know half the people on the list. I've never seen them before. I think they're adding people.
And they become a little more conscientious when it's holiday time.
They pay more attention to you.
Oh, yeah.
No, we noticed starting Thanksgiving.
They're like children.
Oh, yeah.
Right after Thanksgiving, they are way nicer.
Can I help you with your bag?
Look you in the eye.
Needs that a drink?
Because they know you're about to decide how much.
What's the matter, boss? We hot?
Yeah. Some of them, I would love to give them something. They're great, but whatever.
They're going to get you now.
But you're a father, so don't you like the holidays a little more now that you got a kid?
No,
because I didn't give a fuck about the holidays until I started having. I got 2 little ones, and then it's like it's kind of cool again.
How old's your kid? Though? You got a young kid.
Oh yeah. I have a son who's 6 and a daughter who's 8.
All right, yeah, that's
all right.
Yeah.
So you're only a little ahead of us.
Yeah,
I got a 5 and a tree. Yeah. How is it to be an older father? It's a little weird, right?
Oh, God.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. There was this one comedian years ago, Uncle Dirty, if you remember him.
Uncle Dirty, I don't remember Uncle Dirty.
He had a line, because he had a kid when he was really older, and he said, I'm at the perfect age to have a kid. When he's old enough to hate me, I'll be dead.
I said about my daughter, when she's old enough to date, I'm not going to give a fuck anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I'm either going to be gone or I'm going to be a little out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. And I said to myself, thank God.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I found out my wife was having a girl, I screamed no.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be a nice moment. Like, you want to find out the sex? And stupid me, I'm looking on the screen. I thought I saw a ball bag. So I'm sitting there like, haha, another son, right?
Right.
And then they said, you're going to have a little girl. And my reaction was no. I screamed no. And everyone's looking at me like, you sick fuck.
Girls are the best, though.
But then I was thinking, even though the kid's not even born, obviously, I'm thinking right away to her dating and having to deal with these fucking assholes coming to your door.
Well, if you're lucky, she's a lesbian. Thank you.
It's not.
Yeah.
I would prefer that.
You know, he laughed, and I'm thinking, you know what? It's a good joke. It's a good joke, but you know what? That wouldn't be bad.
It wouldn't be bad at all.
Wouldn't be bad. Because you know what a guy could do?
Hit her.
Girls would be
That's
easy.
a fair fight.
Right.
You two lesbians fighting? Just take it out my house.
Right.
Don't do it in my house.
And we'll film it. So make some money. It'll pay for your college education.
Exactly.
We'll film you and your lesbian friend wrestling on the carpet.
What kind of wrestling, though? Let's go with hot oil. Hot oil is the best.
Hot oil is always a good way to go.
Hot oil better than mud, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Gotta clean it up. Do you have a favorite kid? You got 2 kids. You gotta have one favorite, though.
Yeah, see, that's the difference between Meryl Streep. I know which one of my kids I'd give to the Nazis.
Wow. You know right away which one's going.
Yeah.
Like, you're saying no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt, right?
Yeah, the Nazi officer would be going, well, do you need a minute? You want to think of it? No, I'm fine.
You made your choice.
That would be a short movie. Gilbert.
The motherfucker in the blue hat.
You gotta make believe you're struggling here, Gilbert.
We can let you think on it. No.
I made my decision.
Oh, man.
Without giving away too many details.
Which one? No, I want to know. I want to know which one.
I don't know what he wants to say. Why the one? Why the one? Why is it
the first one? Is the first one your favorite? Yeah. Because he was already here, and it's like, oh, who's this new motherfucker coming in here? The young baby.
That's the way my kids talk. They say, who's this new motherfucker? my daughter's first words were, who this new motherfucker?
That's why she's a fave.
Who this new motherfucker?
Who this new motherfucker?
Who this new motherfucker?
I was very proud. My daughter said, who this new motherfucker?
Look it up from breastfeeding. Who this new motherfucker? And then goes back to the tit.
A peek over there and back to the tit.
Well, giving that eye, who this motherfucker? Oh, that's funny, girl. Oh, shit. You're the man.
So you got a boy and a girl, though.
Oh, yes.
I know you hate the boy. You got to. There's another dude with a dick in your house. Nobody's for that.
Why do you have to hate the boy?
Because it's too much. This motherfucker's going to challenge you at some point.
You're going to have to square off and fight.
You have to square off, you're going to have to punch him in the chest.
I never had to square off and fight with my dad, thank God.
All right. He was a little older, though. You were younger.
What do you mean?
Where were you in the 7 kids? What number were you?
Second in.
Second to the end? Yeah, 1 through 5.
Second early.
Oh, second early.
Second oldest.
So did the older kid get beat?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
There you go. That was your...
But by the stepmom.
Oh.
Yeah, we had that fucking thing.
Now,
dynamic.
This I want to hear about.
We had the old...
Wicked?
You don't have my blood.
Oh. Yeah. So she hit him like a stranger?
They had some issues. My older sister and my mom had a lot of issues. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then you say she was hard on your older sister, though.
Huh? So no, my older sister was cool as hell. But,
was your parents a little harder on her?
Oh, yeah. No, just my...
The stepmother.
My biological mom, yes. Was tough on my half-sister.
Right.
Yeah.
You told me a story like she used to make her do extra stuff around the houses. I know she used to yell at her.
Yeah, she fucking helped raise us, even though she wasn't that much older than us.
Right.
She had to get a job, and she had it rough.
She's like Cinderella.
Yeah.
And she had a wicked stepmother.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Gilbert's like just staring.
Yeah. This is like true Hollywood. Yeah.
You need to send your son on a vacation or something.
We got more yelled at, and she definitely got a few more strikes. A few more hits.
Which kid you got to hit the most right now, Gilbert?
Oh, both of them equally. Because I don't like to have preference to one.
Okay.
I think.
I don't hit.
You hit them as a group?
Yeah.
I don't hit.
You don't hit at all?
Nope.
That's why I don't hit now, but I
don't
set
hit.
the boundaries early so you don't have to do it later.
But the famous Chris Rock, but I understand why you would.
Yeah.
I understand why you would, but I just can't. But these phones are going to light up in 2 seconds now. People are going to be like, I fucking hit my kid.
Yeah.
But they'll justify. They go, if it works for them.
I'm not against somebody hitting a kid. Abusing a kid is wrong.
I'm not going to question that. If it works,
nowadays, though, it's like if someone were to hit their kid, it would be it would be all over the internet and all over the papers. Hey, we saw someone hit their kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we were growing up, that was normal to get a slap or two,
I
right?
still see kids getting popped in the street.
Where?
In the street by their parents.
I swear I couldn't tell you the last time I actually saw a parent hit a kid.
Oh, I saw this
when we were growing up. Did I ever tell you the story of I was coming back from swimming lessons at it doesn't matter. I was going to mention the actual beach. Who gives a fuck? And we were behind I don't even want to say their name. This is how scary it is. So my mom picks us up and our kids, and in front of us is like basically the bully of the school. And his mom picked him up, and they're the one car in front of us. There was this kid just walking home from swimming lessons. The mom pulls the fucking car over so her son could beat the shit out of the kid on the side of the road.
What?
Beats him up, gives him a couple good shots, and then jumps in the car.
That's not right.
Well,
what did the kid though? I mean, what did the
I have
kid
no idea the backstory.
Okay,
but we remember thinking, because it was the 70s, that it was right. Like, oh, yeah, okay, they obviously had a beef that they're taking care of. And the mom was all in. Like, she pulled the fucking car over and let her son get out and
wail on his kid.
And wail on this kid for a little while, and then he popped back in.
And he was already the bully. You knew this kid as the bully.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
So the mother's the problem right there.
Well, the mom was scary, too. And I remember being a little kid going, and I was horrified. I was like, holy fuck, this is crazy.
Imagine the beating she gives him in the house.
You think that's what happened there?
Has to.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's spreading the love.
You don't hit your kids, do you, Gilbert?
Oh, constantly. In fact, when I'm away, I hire someone. I pay a homeless man. I give him a few bucks to go up and hit the kids, even if they haven't done anything.
Just to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Let them know they're loved. Somebody's thinking about them.
Yeah, because they think they're off the hook. Gilbert's out of town for a weekend. Like, we're good.
Someone has to hit the kid.
No, you're not good. The homeless guy's coming at noon. Whether you did something wrong or not.
Holy shit. Now, do you want any more kids? You thinking about more?
Oh, no.
What about adopting a kid, a little Asian kid or something?
Oh, no, that's strictly for famous actresses.
You don't have the room for it?
I think you adopt one late in your life, one for you, for later on.
Yeah, once you relax.
One for you later on.
Yes.
Do the old Woody Allen.
as long as you don't do the old Jared Fogle. That would be...
Is he in jail now, Jared?
Yeah.
He was sentenced.
Yeah.
What was his time again? How much they give him?
15 years.
15, like 15 it was about 15.
He went in pretty quietly.
And man, that case was one of the quickest cases ever, I think.
Yeah.
Usually you would think it would be a few years.
But he cooperated. He busted himself.
He's like,
to tell you the truth.
He's thinking, all right, let me get my 15 years going as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not dilly-dally.
And then the guy
I know what you got on me.
The guy who ran his charity was just sentenced to 27 years.
Wow, really?
Wow. Yeah, last week.
So he's the real bad one. If he got 27 and Jared got 15.
Wow.
What was the difference between the two? That he got 27.
I think the other guy was like shooting the videos for Jared, and
he was producing it, distributing. He was distributing it too. That's how Jared got
videos.
Distributed. Yeah, he had his hand in it.
Well, he had a production wing of his company.
Wow. All right.
Child porn money.
Wow.
What is that about? Years ago.
What story? What could this have triggered?
I was a Cub Scout leader.
ago, I taught swimming lessons at the local Y.
I used to park my van outside schoolyards.
Years ago, I ran an ice cream truck.
I would say, "Oh, little kid, I'm looking for my lost puppy."
Years ago. I don't know if I want to hear it. Years ago.
Let's hear it. You gotta hear it. Let's hear it.
Are you sure?
Let's get it out there.
I wish it were that good.
Okay, years ago.
Years ago.
I want to hear the story.
Years ago, I worked out at a summer camp.
I was a carny. On from town to town.
I just want to do years ago for the next 15 minutes.
I was an acting teacher for the Little Dakota Fanning. And
years ago, I was a Little League coach.
Yes.
Sorry, Laura. Sorry. Oh, shit. Years ago. Oh, boy.
Years ago.
Okay. Yes.
No, I remember I did like a handful of commercials for Subway.
Oh.
Where it was like a talking hand shadow and I was the voice. And at the time, they were still doing the Jarrett commercials at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they discontinued mine and said, and I think someone said, we think it would be safer to just stick with Jarrett.
Oh, man.
Oh, are they eating their words? They're eating their words.
Oh, boy.
Years ago, we made the wrong decision.
Man.
Gilbert, I didn't know you were in Subway commercials.
Yeah. See, the worst I get in trouble for is a joke that's too soon.
Right.
When you put child molestation into the equation.
Yeah, that's another ball game.
You just summed up your career. A joke too soon. That's all it is with Gilbert. Just a little too soon.
Just a little.
Yes.
And
oh, God.
Are you talking about the Aflac?
Yeah, well, of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I got tears in my eyes. That years ago, it was going to make me laugh all day. Years ago. I want to see one of these commercials.
you know, children, years ago.
Oh, boy. Years ago. I'm a little behind on your podcast, Gilbert. Who else have you had on lately?
Oh, okay.
I told Gilbert.
People on there.
I fuck it. And I had breakfast with Artie Lang recently.
He's been on a few times.
And I told him, like I told you, one of my favorite hours, I call it radio. I don't give a fuck. It's podcasting. It's radio.
Yeah, it is.
But I got more respect for radio, like radio personality, so I don't want to say, a podcast is radio because these people are really working.
I'll acknowledge most of them are doing it horribly.
Right.
But it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
But, I mean, one of the funniest hours fucking in recent memory was Gilbert and Artie on that podcast.
I gotta hear that.
Talking about Tracy Morgan. When
yes.
You want to talk about it too soon. I'm like, holy
I gotta hear it.
Dude, it is brilliant. It is so funny. It's so raw. We played it on here. I didn't even ask Gilbert or Artie. I'm like, fuck that. That's one of the best hours I've ever heard.
I gotta hear
Sue
that.
me. I don't give a fuck. I'm throwing this on. I think I asked after the fact.
Oh, that's too funny.
If you've never heard it, man. Was it on your podcast?
Yeah.
It was on yours.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Holy fuck. Was that the live one? Did you do a live one at Caroline's or something?
No, that was the second one I did.
Oh,
but that was a funny one, too.
Oh, God.
And I've had on Weird Al.
How is he?
Good. A lot of fun.
Is it?
Yeah. Judd Apatow.
We like Judd. We've had him in here.
Bob Saget.
They said, what about Weird Al? What?
I'm trying to figure him out. I mean, Eric loves him. E-Rock loves him.
Right. He hung out with him before.
He adores him. I don't think we've ever had him on.
Oh.
Yeah. What kind of guy is he, Gilbert?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I got along with him. He was a lot of fun on the podcast.
Yeah. Did he sing any of those songs?
You want to hear "Eat It"?
A couple of them were all right.
What is the other one?
I think he's. I don't know. I think he's.
He made us all laugh. Come on, let's be honest.
It's all right, but he's deeper than that. I guess is my point.
Instead of Lola, he sang Yoda.
All right, that's clever.
Just saying Yoda.
Star Wars right around
White
the
and
corner.
Nerdy.
I know.
He made White and Nerdy from Riding Dirty.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty good.
Oh, see, because I just saw something about ISIS on the television off to the side.
Speaking of
here's the reason I don't like ISIS.
Know what that, that's good. Years ago, we just had to deal with the bully.
When I was running a day camp.
Nothing better than molestation in the morning.
Years ago, when I had a business for parents who didn't want to spank their own kids. I'll spank your children and cut out the middleman.
Oh, man.
Holy shit. Gilbert doesn't play.
You know?
Yeah,
Don't play around.
Yeah.
What about ISIS? Did you have anything on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, see, this was back when I had a business where I would change other kids' diapers.
You were the diaper chain.
On Jeopardy recently, the question was whose amazing colossal podcast, and who's the voice? And they played my voice. I was a Jeopardy question.
Come on,
and fucking ISIS. They have to do that San Bernardino shooting then,
right?
And to preempt Jeopardy.
Oh,
that's the worst thing ISIS has done. They preempted a Jeopardy episode
the night when they had a Gilbert Gottfried question.
So now it's personal.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's like a Charles Bronson film. This time it's personal.
Years ago.
That sucks. That sucks.
We got a break, unfortunately.
What?
We have a lot of live reads for the Christmas seasons. We're just getting started with Gilbert. You're hanging for a while, right, Gilbert?
All right. I have no idea.
You can hang for a little longer?
Yes.
All right, we're going to do a quick break so I can get some live reads in. You got breakfast in front of you, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
I can't stay around. I'm doing a special down the hall. And I was what Bob Hope. He would used to pop up. And
I used to love when... Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I had Henry Winkler on the show.
Oh, okay. Fonzie?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we scared him away. He used to do our show and hasn't in a couple of years now.
Did he ever in his life ever get Fonzie pussy, like that amount of pussy? Even when he played Fonzie? I don't think so, but when you know him.
I don't think so. Which he should have.
I should have.
This guy could have had every single woman on the planet when he was Fonzie.
He let Scott Baio come in as Chachi and take all the pussy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Why would you do
all the pussy was for you?
That's the question I have for him.
That's a very good question. Let's book Henry Winkler.
Get him in here.
Well, like, I knew that, what's his name? Robin Thicke. Mm-hmm. I knew he was going to get a divorce because I remember I thought, here's a young guy. He's handsome. He's the big music star.
Yeah.
He can't stay married. He's got too many girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was his high school sweetheart. It's like, it's over.
Yeah. Sorry.
You don't think the high school sweetheart ever survives that one?
Not being a sex symbol like that? And he's sticking his fingers in girls' asses all around the globe?
You get him before he's the sex symbol, as the high school sweetheart, it's over, right?
It's over.
There's no way that lasts ever.
He might come back to you, but you got to let him spread his wings and go enjoy some of that.
Let him go out there for about 20 years?
You have to.
When he's old and can't get a hard-on anymore, he'll come back to
he'll
her.
love you, man.
And then he goes back to the high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Gilbert Gottfried is here just getting started. His podcast is one of the ones I definitely listen to. I'm a little behind, I'm not going to lie to you, but I still haven't even heard Jim Norton on it yet. I got to check that out.
Oh, that was a strange one.
Yeah, really?
Strange childhood.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jimmy?
We all know the stories.
Yeah.
His adulthood is not too...
None too shabby either.
Why throw his childhood under the bus?
Yeah, why stop at childhood?
Yeah.
Years ago.
Jared heard my interview with Jim Norton and said, ooh, geez, what?
I thought I was bad.
Who would do this to a child?
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes.
Yes. And Caroline's this just Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes. All right, Thursday at Caroline's, 212-757-4100. Sherrod's sitting in today, too. He's just killing it. What do we got, Sherrod?
You know I'm going to be on Fox News for New Year's Eve down in Times Square doing that thing.
Yep.
And then me and Tracy Morgan, the next stop on the tour is Calgary, Canada. We'll be there January 7th through to whatever.
Are you going to be taking a car with him?
No. What's the odds? It's probably the safest van on the street with him in it. It's like Walmart again.
Lightning barely strikes twice, right?
That's the safest place now.
More importantly, why are you going up to Calgary in January? You guys couldn't figure out the routing a little better
than that? Well, this is like some of the test shows that we're doing. So this is like one of the ones before the actual theater started in the January.
I think instead of having a baby on board sticker, they should have a picture of Tracy Morgan in the back. Then, like any truck is going extra slow.
Holy shit, I'm making those.
Yeah, they're inching along.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Yeah, it's like, okay, maybe this delivery will be in 3 years from now, but I'm not hitting that fence.
Sherrod comes in here and goes, the strangest thing, we were in a traffic jam, but the nearest car was a mile away. Fucking the strangest. So weird. Word got out that Tracy was on the highway. We had the whole fucking highway to ourselves.
And like OJ's white van going down with Tracy driving.
Just
a Bronco.
Just your van on the 405. God. All right. We're gonna break here. We're gonna continue with Gilbert, and then we're gonna do a little Bruce Dern in about a half hour. Maybe talk to Bruce Dern about old movies, Gilbert.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd like that, right?
That'd be dope.
All right. So we'll take a break. Stay there. Oh my God. Enough with the live reads, right, Gilbert?
Yes. Years ago, I was doing a live read at a sleepaway camp.
Sounds like sexy time.
Yes.
Gilbert's promoting his podcast, and the fact that he's going to be at Caroline's this Thursday. Here in the crossroads of the world or whatever, right?
Yeah. Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes.
Now, how you?
We'll put a link on our Twitter today for you, Gilbert. Make it easy for the people.
We talked about a little when Gilbert was on Race Wars, but we touched on the Bill Cosby because you was actually on the Cosby Show and you ran with him. You said y'all shared a lot of things. So what happened?
Yes.
You shared a lot of
I was
things
the one who
Cosby.
I supplied the drinks. He used to have me in a bartender outfit. And I used to test it on animals. I'd give a drop to a hamster and see how quick it passed out.
Did it come to halfway through and it was
awkward? Which hamster was going to be talking afterwards?
Years ago, when everyone had roofies in their pockets.
Oh, there's a clip. Look at you.
Oh, God.
Wait, let me see young Gilbert
Gottfried. I look like Link from the Mod Squad.
Oh, wow. Look at you, Gilbert.
It's too funny.
Look at you. Let me hear a little bit of this. Just a little.
I go into this guy's office. He wears designer sweaters. One of his sweaters costs more than my whole wardrobe. Who's this guy standing?
That's my son. This is Mr. Babbitt.
Hi, your name?
Theo.
Hi, Leo. It's very nice seeing you.
You're a doctor.
And how's Mrs. Huxtable?
Oh, so-so.
So. I heard she was made a partner in her law firm. She's in the biggest law.
This episode was great.
Well, look, I wish I could stay here talking to you, but look, I gotta go home. I'm gonna tell Nancy I saw you,
Yes,
Dr. Huxtable.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Nice meeting you, Leo.
Theo. Now, what did you...
Hey, that's pretty cool, man. Not bad.
Yeah, it's harder and harder to find it in reruns now.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a residual check that just kind of disappeared overnight for me.
Yes. When you can't find it on BET and TV One, it's over. It's over.
Well, I mean, why though? I mean, it was still a good show.
It's still a good show. That's why I say they should play it.
Just leave it on there. It's not like he's roofing girls on the actual episode.
Like you watch an old episode, it's like, oh, he raped a girl in this episode?
So then it makes it wrong all of a sudden? I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The two should be separate.
Yeah, there was that episode where he was going, hey, you want to drink of this? You want to have a sip?
Man.
Come on, it'll help relax you, and I'll make you a big star. Look what I did for Lisa Bonet. You know, years ago. See, Bill Cosby should write a biography called Years Ago.
Poor Bill.
Unbelievable. That's a bit of a drop off in a career, huh?
See, you know what's scary about that is that's going to be his legacy. It's kind of like Fatty Arbuckle is remembered for the scandal, not that he was a hit comedian.
The Coke bottle? It was a Coke bottle, right?
Yeah.
What was a Coke bottle?
Right up with puss.
Well, yeah, they said.
They
said
years ago.
They
said.
Fatty Arbuckle, they said, went up to a girl and said, hey, you want to be big in television? No. He was like one of the biggest silent screen comics.
Right.
And then he used to have these big orgies at his house.
I like them.
And, oh, yeah. And then one girl wound up dead.
Yes.
At the orgy.
That's the best kind of orgy.
Oh, yeah.
That's when you know it's good.
It's not a party unless a girl winds up dead. And they found a Coke bottle, and that started the rumor that he raped her with a Coke bottle.
They found the Coke bottle where, though?
No, just in the room.
Yeah, next to the close to the body, whatever. And they just made a big leap.
And then that became
Maybe she was just thirsty.
Yeah, it was like, there was a connection between the Coke bottle and what happened, and that what she died of, I think, was like a burst appendix or a botched abortion or something. She had peritonitis.
I thought it was a burst appendix.
It could have been a burst appendix.
Correctly,
and
but I'm not
she
sure.
was her stomach was hurting, and she didn't know what it was. And he got her a bottle of Coke, thinking like a soda.
Maybe she was gassy or something.
Yeah. And so they saw that in the room. That started that he raped her with a Coke bottle. And then it became news all over the world. Every day was a new thing on his trial. And he was found not guilty, but it didn't matter.
It was too late at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
It
he
was
was
too
already
sexy to forget.
Because news took about 20 years to spread
come out,
back then.
Yeah.
What was that, 1921 or something like that? It was a 3-day party.
Yeah, too bad I couldn't get Fatty Arbuckle on my podcast. I'd have a lot to talk to him about.
Did he die broke and disgraced?
I believe so. I believe wasn't good. But, I mean, who dies really happy?
They probably went after his lifestyle. If you having orgies back in 1921, there's a lot of motherfuckers who are going to be like this. We got to stop this dude.
You think?
It's haters. It was haters back then too.
I think it was just.
In fact, in the biography of Fatty Arbuckle, they said that the studio had said, "We got to stop this motherfucker."
I know it was right. I know it was onto something.
That was their exact.
Was that the studio, or did your daughter say that?
Yeah, we got to stop this motherfucker.
Who this new motherfucker?
Who this new motherfucker?
Who this new motherfucker?
As a matter of fact, Charlie Chaplin watched Fatty Arbuckle, and his exact words were, "Who this new motherfucker?"
We're going to have to get this nigga rape charge. He's going to get a rape charge.
Buster Keaton, I think, said, "Who this new motherfucker?"
Bruce Dern's going to walk in here and say that.
Yes, he is. We're going to have Bruce Dern in a couple minutes. You had some old timers on the podcast. You had Groucho Marx's live-in assistant.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Because Grouch has been dead for, 30, 40 years now, right?
Yeah, and he was talking about old. Yes,
how old was the guy?
Oh, the guy wasn't old because he was like a kid when he started working for Groucho.
Right,
and he was talking about Groucho was with that younger woman who was nutty.
What?
This Erin Fleming. Yeah, she was some nutty woman that.
Did she live with him?
Oh, yeah.
In Cali or in New York? Where did they live?
In California.
Yeah.
Wait,
that's her?
Wait, let's.
Oh, yes.
Hold on. Let's slow. Thank you.
Okay, she's
I know where
hot.
you're going already. So let's slow down a little bit. How old's Groucho?
Old man.
Groucho then was like in his 80s.
Oh, then you go nutty broad.
Yeah.
You go nutty broad.
You go nutty broad if you 80s.
Whatever.
It's just a piece of, look at this girl.
As long as Nutty Broad is pulling your pud, you don't give a fuck,
you
right?
You don't give a fuck. She gets shit on the kitchen floor.
You don't care what she's up to?
I think Groucho said, the old Groucho, when he was in a wheelchair, he said, Who's this new motherfucker?
Groucho still got it, man. Motherfucker still got it.
As long as she's bending over, showing her ass.
Yeah.
You'll take Nutty at that age.
I'll take Nutty.
You'll take Nutty.
Nutty is a nutty buddy.
Yeah, that was Steve Stoliar, who was living with him. That was a weird.
What was the best story he told?
Well, there was one story.
He killed the girl with a Coke bottle?
Yes. Here's a Coke bottle. I'm gonna rape you with it. But if anybody asks, you just tell them that you had a burst appendix. Yeah, they that one time, like, the nurses were suspicious about her because she was, up to some weird goings on.
Okay.
And she started screaming at the nurse, like, what are you, a man? If you're a man, why don't you fuck me? And she took her clothes off and started fingering herself in front of Groucho's nurse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who is this new motherfucker? She took her clothes off in front of the male nurse.
Yeah. It was a woman nurse. Yeah. And she goes, you think you're a man? Then why don't you fuck me?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, did he prove he was a man or not?
More so than I could have.
That'll get you out of anything. Look, she said, "Are you a man or what?" I had to do this.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
What?
It's called Raised Eyebrows, a little book he wrote as being the assistant to
How long was he the
Marx.
assistant to Groucho?
Oh, I think for about 3 years.
Okay.
But he was like living in the house.
Go ahead.
Then I had on 2 members, 2 like stars of F Troop.
That's what. Wow. I was just about to bring up F Troop because you said, well, the Bill Cosby, you don't show the Cosby Show anymore.
Right.
F Troop had a sex scandal after the fact too, right?
Oh, no, that Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes, that's what it was.
Oh, where he got bludgeoned to death.
And you can't find those reruns.
Well, I mean, Hogan's here.
Even back in like the 80s when he used to show old shit
but
on
the
TV.
Nazi angle, I mean, people finally woke up and said, "Oh wow, this is a little weird."
There's a little bit more of a controversy. It's dealt with the Holocaust.
Yeah, comedy revolving around concentration camp.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I think they finally realized that was the first show they decided to get off your TV when the political correctness started. Where do we start? I think it's the one with the concentration show. It was funny though.
Yeah, I think it's the one with the funny concentration camp.
Exactly.
The concentration camp with a laugh track.
I mean, they still doing Sound of Music every year. You can show Nazis on TV.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with any of it.
Nazis.
You can show Nazis. It's just all the laughter and the fun they're having. That's sort of the problem.
Did you guys have a problem with that one
Don't knock
growing
it
up?
till you tried it, all right?
When Eric and I, when we were growing up, our grandparents were German and they escaped the Holocaust. Their whole family wiped out. My grandparents came right here, grew up in New York City. And when Eric and I were growing up, we'd be in their apartment here in New York City and we'd watch Hogan's Heroes on Channel 5. And we didn't see a problem with it, even though like all the swastikas and the helmets with the spikes on it were the ones that took their families away. Horrible.
But they were making fun of the Nazis, though. They were showing how they were buffoons.
But they were still getting it done on the show. You know what I mean? They were still the Nazis.
They were still completing tasks.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know about F Troop. Who'd you have from F Troop?
Oh, Larry Storch.
Oh, sure, okay.
And I always forget the other guy, Ken Berry.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Both of them, like in their 90s.
Wow.
And you had them both on?
Yeah.
Together?
No,
Okay.
2 separate times.
You have,
See, now that's the thing with political correctness. If I was around during when F Troop was on, if I was like old enough and acting, I would have been an Indian chief on F Troop.
Yeah.
Now they wouldn't allow it.
No.
But they would have definitely hired me.
Yes.
And given me some funny name.
One thing they definitely wouldn't have used was a real Indian. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, they always use Jews. They was like these old Borscht Belt comics with feathers on their heads.
Oh my God!
Just like in a Charlie Look
at that.
Oh, who was which?
That's Milton Berle, right?
Oh my God! Yes.
Wait, Milton Berle played an Indian on F Troop.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Man,
Native American.
This.
And then there was this comedian Guy Marks who was on F Troop.
He's in brown face in that. When I dressed in Milton Berle's wearing brown face?
We're getting Bruce Dern in here.
Yeah.
I want to talk about F Troop.
Let's do it.
Yeah, he played an Indian on F Troop.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We got one of the stars of Hateful Eight coming in here.
Yes.
Bruce Dern. We all saw the movie. I
got to see it tomorrow.
Quentin Tarantino did not disappoint.
He comes through, man. You can say what you want about him.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood, a lot of action, a lot of shit like we like to watch.
He will not give up on that lot of blood thing. Wow. But the movie's fantastic. We're gonna have Kurt Russell in later this week, Gilbert.
Oh, wow.
If you want to come back and talk to some of these guys, let us know. Jennifer Jason Leigh's coming in.
Yeah.
Who else? Quentin Tarantino himself.
I got to come back for that.
Ask Kurt Russell.
Are you calling in a favor?
Calling in a favor.
What he thinks of the Hudson brothers.
She might have been with
Kate Hudson.
Yes.
Kate Hudson's father, Goldie Hawn, used to be married to one of the Hudson brothers. And I remember they were like a musical comedy group on early TV, and that's when I started to realize. And, as a kid, you think if you're on TV, you got to be talented.
Yeah.
And when I saw the Hudson brothers, when I first started to think, oh, maybe anyone has a chance.
I could do this.
Yeah. That's when I thought, you don't have to be.
I could do this.
Which one's our father? Which one's Kate's father?
It's Bill, isn't it? In the middle?
In the middle?
I don't remember. Mark Hudson, Bill Hudson, and I want to go with Mark Hudson, but you're going with Bill Hudson?
My money's on Bill.
And then there's Brett Hudson. Wow, I wonder if my brother's named after Brett Hudson. I'm
What year was he born?
I gotta ask my mom.
Maybe.
My mom, started naming us after fucking TV people.
If he's named after Hudson Brothers, probably living in the street right now.
My brother's name, you'll appreciate this because you love old TV and stuff. My brother's Quinn from Quinn Martin Productions.
Oh, my God.
That's absolutely the truth. And then I got a Darren from Darren Stevens in my family.
Right here. Wow.
So I bet you my mom liked the name Brett Hudson and named my brother Brett.
Every movie, every cop show.
Bruce Dern.
Oh. Wow. Nice to meet you, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
big
allowed
fan.
to shake your hand.
Yes. Thank you.
Bruce Dern,
Nice
how
to
are
meet
you?
Wow.
What's going on?
Bye.
This is
You're
amazing.
doing all right, huh? How's your morning going?
Well, I just finished with him.
Yeah.
That girl Jessica's got a really unique face.
Yeah?
Really unique. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kinder in a way.
Really?
It's a throwback to the educated girls of the 40s and 50s.
That's what her face looks like?
No, I meant two of them were Miss America, so.
Oh, okay.
She's a looker.
She's a looker.
I did a TV series for a little while called Big Love.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And I had two Miss Americas on the show as ex-wives.
Okay.
Because I had a bunch of wives.
Yeah.
One was Colleen Hutchins, who married Mel Hutchins, who was a big star here with the Knicks for years.
Yes.
And the other one was Vonda K. Van Dyke.
Okay.
Who they were back-to-back Mormon Miss Americas in 55 and 56.
Wow. Mormon
Miss Americas.
Do they have swimsuit?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I went right to the swimsuit myself.
Because they Mormons can wear. I guess they can wear.
Yeah, they did the one piece. I guess.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
they can play.
That was the one piece.
They can play hoops, definitely. Yeah.
You know, I mentioned the Bruce Dern movie on my podcast.
Which one?
To see. King of Marvin Gardens.
Excellent.
I really like that movie with Jack Nicholson and Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah.
What year was that?
1972.
Wow.
72. About he and I was the dreamer, and he was a late night Barry Gray.
Yeah.
Talked on the radio all night and told stories. And he comes down to Atlantic City, and I have this dream to, bring gambling, not to Atlantic City, but it was before that happened.
Yeah.
To a little island in the Pacific, and he was the doubter, and I was the dreamer. And one day I'm walking on the boardwalk with the two girls that I live with, a mother and her stepdaughter, and they run into Scatman Crothers, you remember?
Oh, yes. Nicholson used to use Scatman Crothers. Yeah, he was in Cuckoo's Nest.
Right. And The Shining.
And The Shining, yeah. And I think even another one. He used to use him a lot.
Yeah. But anyway, so he comes up and the two girls say, he says, how are you ladies doing? And how's Jason? And they both think Jason is a god, and that he runs the city and everything else because he's the hustler. And Scatman laughs and he says, well, he's the king of Marvin Gardens. That's how good he is. And he says, ladies, Marvin Gardens is the cheapest property on the board.
I remember Marvin Gardens
from
starts
Monopoly?
out.
I remember from Monopoly.
Yeah.
And I saw it years ago. But I remember it starts off with Jack Nicholson on the radio going, I promise to tell you why I never eat fish.
The grandfather sat at the end of the table and said, hey, and dies out on us, And he tells stories like that.
Yeah.
And so it was, and a wonderful director, Bob Rafelson.
Yeah. He would start choking on the fish bone, and then me or my brother were sent into the kitchen to get a heel of bread.
How about this? A little late, Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
People never give you that with your voice?
The what?
You know who Gilbert Gottfried was? No, I mean, don't you have an
That's him.
That's him.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
and Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, I always liked.
That was my first Hollywood movie. My first movie was with Mr. Kazan. We did it in Tennessee. It's called Wild River. It starred Montgomery Clift and Lee Remick, and I played a little asshole in it. And Joe Van Fleet played like a 90-year-old woman. And then they sent me to Hollywood, Mr. Strasberg and Mr. Kazan, because I was under contract to Mr. Kazan. And I did Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. And the first day I walk on the set, am I allowed to say a bad word?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
hey, they wouldn't have me on the show if there was a restriction.
So I walk on the set, and I sit down in my chair, and there, I hear as I'm walking to my chair, you tell... Can I really say things?
Yes.
You tell that cunt that I'm not coming out there until she stops belittling me and putting me down. And then the lady in the chair says, you tell her that when she would like to come to work on the set, out of her dressing room, where she's having salve put on the sores of her back for laying on it 25 years to have a goddamn career in the first place. This was Betty Davis and Joan Crawford.
Oh, wow.
They just done a movie together called Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Yeah.
So they tried to put them together. So Miss Crawford quit. And the next day, we were all sent home. There was nothing to do. She was in everything. So the next day we come to work, and I'm sitting in the same chair I sat in that morning, and we're getting ready to shoot, and Miss Crawford comes in. She quit. She comes in, she says, Bob Aldrich was the director, Robert Aldrich. And she says, oh, Bob, I'm so sorry. I acted like a real bad girl yesterday and everything, and you know my feelings about her, but I'll just be able to be professional and deal with it here. And so let me just run a comb through my hair. I did my makeup in the car. I'm ready to go in 5 minutes. So as she's saying that, she looks over where he is, because she's like where the guy with the camera is. And she's looking down the line. She sees Miss Davis. She sees me. And then she sees a chair she was in yesterday with somebody else in it. And she walks over to somebody else, and she says, why, Livy, what are you doing? Livy de Havilland.
Yeah.
Livy, what are you doing here? I'm Betty Davis, okay?
Okay.
She's looking out this way. Miss Crawford now is over here. Say to me, why, Livy, what are you doing here?
Livy, what are you doing here?
She's playing your role, cunt.
Oh, wow.
Betty Davis is a bad bitch.
Oh, jeez.
Betty Davis didn't play.
Wow. No, and that, you know what? For my career, that was the greatest luck we ever had. When we first came to California, we still got to work with the legends. We're not legends, for Christ's sake. You can't be a legend now. The closest thing we have to a legend is Clint, and that's because he looks good on a horse. But everybody, and he's got game. He was one or two guys in my lifetime that put his money where his mouth was. He dreamed what he dreamed for Carmel and making movies, and Redford did what he did for Sundance.
Yes.
And those are guys that step forward. And the thing about... I think the thing is that everybody knows what we do after school now. Nobody knew what they did after school. I mean, you're supposed to get out at 10 to 3 or whatever the hell it is, and then what do you do till 6 o'clock?
Right.
And I remember coming home one time, my mother said, why are you always home at 6 o'clock? Your track practice is over by 5, so what do? I said, you know, Mother, I got to tell you something. I have a friend, and after school every day, we're up to the same stuff after I practice. Well, what's that? We love to fuck shit up.
What about your friend Jack Nicholson? He's kind of a legend, no?
Oh,
you put him in that legend category. He's like royalty to us.
You know what makes him a legend? He's an original.
Yes.
And that's what makes him a legend.
I just saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest this weekend. Brilliant performance.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant on his part. Bruce is here promoting Hateful Eight, the new Quentin Tarantino movie. Guess what? We saw it, Bruce.
Oh, you did?
Loved it. Have you seen the whole thing yet?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I was privileged. I was allowed.
No, I do ask that because time and time again we ask, a lot of you guys don't see your own freaking movies. I never understood that. But
it took us 170 shooting days. So
wow,
we were in Telluride for 4.5 months, and then we went back to Hollywood.
Right,
and in Telluride, that cabin or whatever you want to call it that we're in, there was no heat in it.
Oh,
so
really?
We'd get to work, and it was 5 below zero at like 7 o'clock, and then by noon it would heat up to 22, and that's as warm as it got in the room. So we do that for 4 months. Then we come back to L.A. to shoot, and the prick refrigerates the stage to 25 degrees.
Really?
So we're going outside on a day like today or a Saturday day or something, and inside and out of that all day long. Why? Because he wants you to see our breath, so you understand we're cold. So that was that.
And they didn't want to put it in on post.
Yeah, can't they just, with me... They would have to just, I'd say, put computerize my breath.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sitting in a cabin that's 22 degrees.
Yeah, right, and I don't want it to be below 70 in my room.
Well, the other problem was we were 10,200 feet, so you can't complete a paragraph. I mean, you run out of
barely breathing.
Jeez.
Everybody walked around. It's a Western, so a lot of people had gun belts and stuff, because of the actors and other people. But all the crew people walked around with gun belts, but with oxygen cans in each of the holsters.
Oh, jeez.
Little movie magic right there.
Wow.
I just had a seizure thinking about it.
This movie's over 3 hours long, and let me tell you how good it is. I don't know what we could give away. We're trying not to give anything away, obviously, but it's pretty much 2 sets for 3 hours, and it holds your attention.
And the whole movie takes place over 5 hours.
Right. Yeah, so, you're talking, the character development is amazing, the writing's amazing, the performances are amazing. Because who else could pull that off? 2 sets for 3 hours, you're going to sit there on the edge of your seat.
Well,
which we absolutely did.
He's there, he's the scribe, and he writes all the stuff down. So, every now and then he'd allow me a Dern Z, which Nicholson branded. I did a movie that he directed years ago called Drive, he said, which I played a basketball coach.
Yeah.
And my team made the Final Four. And we did it at Oregon, and we started the day after Oregon upset UCLA and broke their winning streak. And that was a team with, Kevin Love's uncle, Stan Love, was on the team, and a guy named Drozdiak and Lionel Hollins, and all in college at the same time. And so they were very good. And we shot on Oregon. It was during the student riots.
Wow.
And at the end of the movie, there's a scene where the there's two guys are roommates. One guy's trying to beat the draft so he doesn't have to go to Vietnam and show everybody he's crazy. And the other guy is maybe has a chance to be the MVP in college basketball that year. And because we called ourselves Ohio, because of the yellow O on the green shirt, but it was really Oregon. And we come to work one morning, and there's a big, huge riot in, this would be May of 71. And there are National Guard all over the campus, and that's not rubber bullets, bud. That's for real, and this is just a while after Kent State.
Wow.
And Jack says to me, Derns, now in this scene, that my basketball player runs all the way across campus. We've just come back from the semifinal, and the next day we have to play the final, which is being played at Corvallis, so it's not it's a drive. You don't have to go overnight. And he says, now you run, and Tepper, the basketball player, is running after his friend who's being hauled away in a 9/11 thing in a straitjacket because he finally went berserk. And so the kid comes back and is running all the way across the campus to say something to him. And he says, now you go after him. You run after. I said, Jack, you have no control over this. They don't know we're coming. And these guys, they didn't point guns at us, but God damn it, it was scary.
Yeah.
And so I run out. And the thing that makes it neat is it's this very end of the movie. What the kid does to get out, no one will take him. They say, yeah, you get over there with the rest of the fag guys, and you're going to Vietnam. And he said, no, I have a condition. I'm crazy. No, come on. Everybody pulls that, you know. Go to Canada if you're bored with it here. So he goes into the biology lab and he lets all the snakes and bugs and everything, smashes all the cages and just lets them all out, you know. And so they come and they wrap him up and they put him in the straitjacket. So he's in the straitjacket. And this kid runs all the way across the campus and jumps on the back of the where the windows are. You can look in and see him like this in the straitjacket, and knocks on the window. And this is what made Bob Rafelson in those movies, who also did Marvin Gardens. Bob Rafelson directed, but Jack directed this movie, but Bob helped write the script along with a guy named Jeremy Larner. So he jumps on the back of the thing and knocks on the window, and the little kid inside looks at him. And the basketball player says, your mother called. No, but I mean, that was the 70s filmmaking.
Yeah.
You got it or you didn't. And there was an arrogance among those directors that said, we're moving on, folks. It's moving pictures. You know, if you don't get the image, we're not going to stay here and explain it to you. You get it or you don't. And we did a documentary once called A Decade Under the Influence, which was about the films that a bunch of us made in the 70s. And Ted Demme directed it, Jonathan Demme's brother. And he did some movies, too. And he died right after. He went to play basketball at the Barrington Rep and stopped at the Walgreens on the way and was dead about halfway through the first quarter because he just shouldn't have stopped at the Walgreens. But it's a wonderful movie. And in the movie, there's 4 actors, 4 directors, 4 producers, and 4 writers from the 70s. And the last actor they talked to, and they talked to us throughout the movie, the last one is me, and of the actors, and then Scorsese after me as the directors. And they said to me, Ted Demme says to me, well, what are you going to do after you retire? I said, retire? What are you talking about? I'm still trying to, get better, learning and stuff like that. I don't have anything I could do. And if you think that I'm going to retire, if you think I'm going to give up and retire so Jimmy fucking Kahn can get you're dead wrong. And then Scorsese comes on and he says, I'm absolutely blown away by the way they make movies today. I mean, with the gadgetry and the Lucases and Steven and now Peter Jackson. This was like 2006 we made this documentary. And I wouldn't know how to make a movie like that. I'm just blown away from it. And I'm blown away by it. And also, their propensity to make money fast. Meaning, 3 days you make $100 million. He said, I just don't know how to do that. But with all the spectacular stuff that goes on in those movies, at the end of the day, I miss the people.
Really?
That's what I'm doing in the business. That's what we try and do. We try and make movies still about the people.
Yes.
And oddly enough, you can call this opera. I think Quentin kind of made an opera here. What's it boil down to? Who are the people? And very simple, Agatha Christie. Who poisoned the coffee?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the characters in this movie are just terrific.
On my podcast, I had Roger Corman. Now, you were one of his...
Well, I tell you, Roger was interesting because he was the first guy that gave Dennis... Dennis was a movie star. When Jack and I first came to Hollywood, he'd been in Giant, he'd been in...
Dennis Hopper.
Rebel Without a Cause. So to us, he was big stuff. But he gave Fonda and Jack and me... and Dennis a chance to star above the title of a movie. Yeah, they were drive-in type movies. Yeah, they were exploitation kind of movies. But we had a chance to be above the title, and we could never get that. And Jack could never be in movies. I mean, he was always doing... He had to make 2 of his own movies to get in them. But his first movie was Ensign Pulver. Where he played like a little swabby on the deck. But it was so Roger came along and gave us good parts and everything. And I remember my first movie for Roger was The Wild Angels. Oh, thank you.
Ooh, what's that role?
Late, but here.
So the bun is late.
I asked her this at 9 o'clock. In a whole other part of town. So anyway, he... I must have dementia. I don't know. But he... what was this?
You're talking about the Wild Angels.
Oh,
Wild Angels, yes.
So our co-star was Nancy Sinatra.
Right.
And she had just recorded These Boots Are Made for Walking.
She was hot, right?
So she was an entity.
Right.
And they were fun. We made movies for $212,000 in 10 days. And we got just whatever scale was and a box lunch. And that's it. And you just shot to 12 hours and went out. No rules. I mean, we'd be shooting in front of the whiskey. And we'd be sitting in the car. And Bogdanovich, who was the camera operator, would run across the street and with the cameraman. And Roger's saying, now, look, we're going to get arrested, so we can't stay here. And you can't park here because we have no permits or anything. So, Peter, you run into the whiskey. And then, Bruce, 30 seconds later, you run in. Each one of you stay in there a minute. Then, Peter, you come out. Bruce comes out. We have the scene of you getting lost at the whiskey. So that's the way we made movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I did a movie called Smile, which is about the California Junior Miss Pageant.
Oh, with Barbara Feldon.
Yeah,
she was on the podcast too.
Really?
Yeah,
And she was in Melanie Griffith. It was her first movie.
Oh wow!
And she was the little girl who had. Oh, you did. In the movie, I run this festival. Junior Miss means 17 or younger.
Okay.
And every county in California has a representative. Like Annette Bening was Miss San Leandro. She was like 17. Okay. Diane Sawyer that year was the junior miss from Virginia and California. And various girls like this. Cindy Williams was in it. And, you know, they all played little county people. Mike Ritchie directed, but a great, wonderful writer named Jerry Belson.
Oh, yeah.
Who was Gary Marshall's partner. And they did all the Love American style things for 8 years or something. And in the movie, I have a 10-year-old son, and the 10-year-old son has 3 little friends. And he gets hold of the contestants book for the year. And he takes it to show his friends. He says, you know, if we could get pictures of these girls in the changing room. And he says, yeah. So, well, we need a Polaroid. Well, we'll take care of that. We'll get a Polaroid. So, anyway, he creeps up and takes pictures. And he gets a shot of Melanie Griffith at 14 with filthy, dirty feet. You know, she's changing her clothes and they're barefoot on the thing. But Hooters. And so at the end of the movie, and they're confiscated. I have to take him to a psychiatrist and all that. And at the very end of the movie, after the contest is over and everybody's leaving town, the picture was confiscated. And a highway patrolman watching the people pull out of the little shitbag motel headed down towards San Francisco from Santa Rosa. And he's eating a Twinkie, and he pulls the visor down, and there's the picture of Mel. You guys have fun like this every day?
Every day.
This is it.
Yeah, we're having a good time. Bruce Dern from Hateful Eight. You play a Confederate general, right? Yeah, and I don't know what we could say about the damn film. It's good. Go see it.
I heard you said nigga a lot. You want to explain yourself now, Mr. Dern? I heard you went off book.
It ain't the first time.
There we go. I knew you would.
After the first day, because I'm over in the chair. There's a picture from Smile right there.
There it is. Yeah, we got it up on the screen. 1975.
Well, it came out. Yeah, we shot it 74.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
And,
my God.
That's as I start to walk out there, then Nat King Cole starts singing the song "Smile." See, there's the contest.
Oh, yeah.
Just one. And we never told the actress who it was going to be. There were 43 girls there. So none of them knew, and they picked them the day we went to work that day.
So you got them really being surprised.
Yeah, and the girls were surprised. They didn't know.
Pretty smart.
You know.
So you're sitting in that chair, I think you said.
I'm sitting in the chair.
For Hateful Eight.
After the first day of the sequence where Sam comes into the house, and I say, do you know that, sir? And he says, He says to me, you know that? And I say, well, I know he's that. I said, no, I don't know that, but I know he's that, so it's all I need to know.
All right.
You know, and then it goes downhill from there. But I went up to Stan and I said, I want to, you know, let you know that everybody will tell you they have this or that or the other thing, but I do have 2 black grandchildren, and because Ben Harper was married to my daughter, and they have 2 grandkids. And he said, Mr. Dern, look, Mr. Dern. I said, Mr. Dern, what the fuck are you telling me, Mr. Dern? And he said, we're all here, not just because we got a chance to work for Quentin, but because we got a chance to work with you.
Yeah.
So you got carte blanche. Do it. And I said, okay.
He took advantage.
Thanks, nigga.
He took advantage.
Thank you very much. And then I said, I got a little trivia on you. He said, what's that? I said, you went to Morehouse. You were in a class with Spike Lee, Denzel Washington, and they were all in the same class at Morehouse. But I said, he said, how'd you know that? I don't know. I heard it on some serious show. The Opie Show. Anyway, I said, he said, well, what's the trivia? I said, who else was in your class? He said, I don't know. I said, you know I'm a runner. He says, you mean? I said, Edwin Moses.
Oh.
4 gold medals.
No kidding. I know Edwin Moses.
Over 16 years.
Right.
And when I saw Spike Lee, I'd never met him. I was at something a month ago where they gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award. And he came up to me afterward. He says, you know, Edwin, we knew Edwin a little bit, but he was very bookish because he wore those real kind of library conch shell glasses and looked very studious and was very studious. And he says, but what don't you know about Edwin? This is Spike, you know. What don't you know about Edwin? Which looks up. I said, I'm not sure. He said, Morehouse don't have no track. No track, no facility. Right. So he had to train on railroad tracks and highways.
Wow.
And so that was very cool. I think the best thing about Quentin, what he gives you an opportunity to do, he gives you an opportunity to get better while you're working. And I thank him for that all the time. And it's amazing because nobody ever credits producers or whoever they are. They just go to the director or the actor or something like that. But the Weinstein Company and their producer our producer on this movie, a guy named Richard Gladstein, they provide you with an arena to play in where you're safe and you can take risks and you don't have to answer to anybody. And that comes from Quentin's, demand to make it like that. Mm-hmm. But very few people do that today. And that's because the 2 brothers love films.
Right.
And they make films that are about the people.
It's definitely right.
And Gladstein was the same way as a producer. He was just, they'd give you anything.
Right.
And the circumstances were horrendous. We served 288 lunches every day, and not a one of those people didn't have a job to do. My first day on Family Plot for Mr. Hitchcock, I just told this story, so
that was his last film,
Family
right?
Plot.
But that was his last film?
I was the star of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the last one.
Earlier, I had done Marnie, and I'd won an award for doing an episode of his TV show, which he directed. People don't know. He directed all the half-hour Hitchcocks. And when Sidney Pollack and Brian Hutton and Mark Rydell and all those guys went under contract at Universal, they all got pissed off because Lou Wasserman would say to them, Hitch did Psycho for $600,000 on the back lot in 18 days. So that's what you can do. Well, it was 10 years later and everything like that. But the neatest thing I ever saw, the sickest thing I ever saw a director do was also kind of unique. When we were getting ready to shoot a scene in Family Plot where I go in, a typical Hitchcock scene, I walk into Bullock's Wilshire, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright department store, designed by him. And I have to go to the bra saleswoman and ask her the size, do you have, 2 double B or whatever it is, like that. And she says, "Are you sure that's the size?" And I look at her and I start going, "Well, it's like, you know." And so a lady who is a Hefe's, a chief executive at Universal's wife, goes into Hitch's office, and she goes right past the secretary and into his office because her husband's running the place, and says, "Oh, Hitch." He said, "Excuse me." She said, "Well, he said, Mr. Hitchcock to you," and I won't mention the lady's first name. She says, "I have a friend named Mary who needs to work one day a year so she can keep her SAG insurance up. You have to be employed at least one day. And there's a bra salesman part tomorrow, saleswoman, and she'd be absolutely perfect for it. Have you cast it?" She said, and Hitch said, "Well, I don't know. Is that really your business?" And she said, "Well, I'd like you very much to give the role to my friend." So the next morning I go to work. We go into Bullock's Wilshire. It's like everything's set up now, 8:30 in the morning. And this girl, Mary, the lady's friend, comes up to me and introduces herself and says, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Hitchcock, so much for the opportunity to be here and everything." And he said, "That's quite all right, Mary. Do you know what you're doing here? This will be a shot which will be your close-up and will be over Bruce's shoulder moving in on you. And then we'll turn around and do Bruce's shot. Have you got that?" "Yes." "Are you ready?" "Yes." So she goes to her spot. He rolls the camera. He does the shot, which is her close-up. And after he says, "Cut." "Thank you, Mary." Gets up out of his chair, which is not easy because he sits in the little director's chair and his hips are sticking out where the space is between the handles. So when he gets up, the chair goes with him. And he turns to me, and he doesn't turn to me. He could never turn. And I was just telling him, I sat next to him all the time for 10 weeks. I wasn't going to miss the opportunity. And he never looked at me. He just said, "A hand, please, Bruce." So I grabbed the legs of the chair, and he walks out of it. And so he gets up out of the chair, walks over to the camera, opens the matte box, reaches in, grabs a piece of film, grabs the other piece of it, pulls it out, tears it, and looks at it in front of a little Baby Junior light that's right there, and goes, "Oh, my God." The actress is over here. She looks at it, she says, "Oh, Mr. Hitchcock, what's the matter?" He says, "Look, Mary, you're not photogenic." And she said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Your picture doesn't appear on the film." She starts sobbing, and she doesn't know what to do, runs to her dressing room. He goes back. He sits down in his chair. I sit down, and I said, "What was that, bud?" He said, "Bruce, that was Don't Ever Fuck with Hitch."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
We got to get Bruce out of here.
I just want to start. Yeah.
Please,
on my podcast, I had Billy Mummy on from Lost in Space. He hated Alfred Hitchcock. He did an episode of Hitchcock Presents.
Well, a lot of people do. I mean, even Melanie and Tippy. Tippy Hedren was in Marnie and everything, and she was his next blonde after Kim Novak, supposedly. And Melanie was just a little kid. And Melanie always would gripe. The mother would always gripe about Hitch didn't want Melanie on the set. She was 6 years old. So for Christmas that year, he sent her a little gift. She unwrapped it when they came to the set, at the Christmas Eve party or whatever it was. And she unwrapped her gift, and it was a little doll, looked exactly like her mommy in a coffin with a pin struck right through.
Oh,
and when she came over to him, she didn't know what to say, but she kind of, 6 years old. And she says, "Well, kind of thank you." He said, "Here's the note I forgot to put in it," and goes with it. It was a little card that says, "Picture Mommy Dead."
Oh, Jesus. With that, we want to thank Bruce Dern.
Good God Almighty.
And Bruce, they're telling us you have to go. We'd love to talk to you for another half hour, but you're very busy as you promote the Hateful Eight.
Oh yeah, and I have to have you on my podcast.
Yes,
there.
Yeah. Okay. Give just whatever information.
We'll take a break and we'll figure it all out.
Oh, Bruce, I would love to.
Bruce Dern, this was a pleasure, my friend.
That's great.
And you're great in the movie.
Most about this kind of situation. Two things. A, you guys have done your homework.
Tried.
B, you respect what we do, and I more than respect what you do. To be able to sit here, faceless, if you will,
right?
For the people, I wear hearing aids, so I can just take one out. I don't have to listen. and also, I can't get it on my radio anyway because I don't pay for it,
right?
And that was disheartening. I know Mary McCormick always said to me, I did a film with her, and she's the girl that played Howard's wife in the movie Private Parts.
Oh, okay.
And she says, Howard keeps wanting you on the show, I said, Mary, my first marriage, I married 2 women. He doesn't want me on his show. And she said, how did you get away with it? Because they were both Quakers. Quaker women can share a husband. Quaker men cannot share a wife. So imagine what they might have been up to.
Yeah.
And, so that was
very good.
That was really unique at the very beginning. But the thing I like mainly about this, and I don't listen to it. I had it for 2 years, but it was $142. I didn't want to go for it. I tell you like it is.
Funny.
I mean, I have.
We hear that complaint a lot.
I have movies
from the truck driver and the Hollywood legend.
I've had movies I've made that people boycotted and never went to.
Sure.
I did a movie called The Beast That Ate Brooklyn.
Yeah. They're panicking. We got to get Bruce.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk to you about your marathon running and all that.
So much information.
I've never run a marathon, but whatever. You got to come back. Can you
run an hour nonstop?
Oh, I used to train and do 20-mile runs, but I never did the marathon. I did a lot of half marathons and a lot of 10Ks. I loved running.
The all-timer.
Huh?
A guy calls me up in 1964. I was running long distance stuff. And he said, how would you like to do something no one's ever done before? I said, what do you mean? He says, come up here. He lived in Goleta, which is above Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
I go to his house. We start running. I said, so what are we doing that no one's ever done before? He said, well, let's run all day. Let's run to your house in Malibu, 72 miles. So we ran to my house. I'd never done over 50, but we ran to my house. And the next morning, he's up bright and early, and he says, let's run back.
No.
I said, man, I can't make it. So we went to Ventura, which is 50 miles. So we did 122 miles.
In a weekend.
Oh, no. 36
wow.
hours. 6 months later, Bob Carmen, myself, and another kid left Santa Monica Pier and ran to Denver in 33 days, doing 35 miles a day.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You ran to Denver?
When Red Grange was real popular, in the winter, he put on called a Bunyan Derby, where you'd run from L.A. to New York. The next year, they'd run from New York back to L.A.
Wow.
And the prize money was enormous. 6 years after that, a fad game, which I made a movie about. It's one of the best movies I was ever in. It's called They Shoot Horses, Don't They?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about dance marathons.
Yeah.
Jane Fonda and Gig
the
Young.
longest the guy ever danced. You get 5 minutes off your feet every 24 hours. 5 minutes. So if you're going to sleep, the girl stands on your feet, you keep dancing, she sleeps, and then you reverse the thing like that. The guy that holds the world record, 73 days, 1934 in Atlantic City, is a guy named Frank Lenkowski. 73 days
of dance
marathon. And you have to have a partner. You can't do it by yourself. If your partner drops up, you're screwed unless you can get another one that dropped out. That guy, Frank Lenkowski, became famous for something else.
What?
Because his name was Frankie Lane, and he sang Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Oh, wow. Bruce, thank you so much. They're freaking out.
Oh, he's great.
Look, we can't interrupt Bruce Dern when he starts the story.
You know the actor?
Oh, no. They're going to kill us.
You know the actor Jason Patrick?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
His father's Jason Miller, who wrote that championship season and directed the movie, which I was in. And he's married to a girl, Linda Miller, who he's passed now, was his wife, which means Jason's mother. So he was, her father was Jason's grandfather. So who's Jason Patrick's grandfather? Jackie Gleason.
Wow. Yeah, I'm blown away. Bruce Dern, everyone. Gilbert Gottfried at Caroline's Thursday, 212-757-4100. And Gilbert's podcast, we linked his podcast to our Twitter, Opie and Jimmy. We're gonna do a little more radio, so stay there so we can wrap up properly.
Thank you.
Bruce Dern, everyone.
More with Opie and Jim after this.
So, Gilbert.
Yes.
Forrest Tucker's dick.
Oh, yes.
That's where we were before Bruce Dern came in here.
Wait, what?
I'm going back to F-Troop.
Big dick Forrest Tucker.
He's got a big dick, I hear, huh?
Yeah, and then about 20 episodes of my podcast, at least, we brought up Forrest Tucker's dick.
He likes
literally brought it up
dick.
from out of his coffin. We brought his dick.
Oh, he had a huge mule?
Yeah.
How big?
I don't know if it was as big as Milton Berle's. I mean, Milton Berle's
his
is
was
still
legendary.
Yeah.
Oh, that's him right there, right? Yeah.
Forrest Tucker supposedly had a very big dick.
Let's look at some images and see if you can see
if
it through
his
his
dick
pants.
is showing. Do you have any pictures of him in shorts?
Wait, that's a bulge right there.
Wait, is that it all the way down there?
No.
Oh, jeez! Ow!
Wait.
That might be it right there.
I hope that's his car keys.
Oh, shit.
It's halfway down.
Oh, jeez!
God.
What is he driving, a tank?
What does he have? Long sagging balls. What is that?
Oh, jeez!
Almost as big as the F-Troop script in his right hand.
Yeah, maybe that's the second part of the script in his pants.
Wow. That's his dick right there.
That's got to be. Or does he have a... No, that's okay. That's a little...
Unless it is old man balls.
Right. Like a long...
Wouldn't they be on both sides, though? Wouldn't it be on both legs?
Well, no, he was missing a ball. That's trivia.
All right, let's try another one. I'm in with
About
this.
Forrest Tucker.
Let's try another one. Let's go a little older, black and white. There's still something going on the right side.
Still something going on in his
there.
pants.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wait, that's...
Now I know why you talk about this a lot on your podcast.
Yeah.
There's something going on.
Yeah, something going on down there.
Yeah, yep. That's a big dick.
Once you
and it pulled to the right. You notice these things.
Once you pull it up in your pants and then tie it down with your belt?
No, that's what you think you can do.
You use it as a belt.
When you used to be in junior high school or something, your dick get hard, you try to put it up in your belt. That never works out, man.
Sadly, it worked for me, Sherrod. It worked for me.
Oh man.
Yeah, you all right. Wow. There you go.
Yeah, that was graphic, like dick shots under jeans.
Yes. By the way, Alfred Hitchcock sounded like a real dick.
Oh, you knew he was.
Scumbag.
You knew he was.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard
enough stuff. I saw that thing when he had the blonde girl, the HBO movie that he had about him.
Yeah.
He was hard on that bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he hard on his bitches.
He's hard on his bitch.
Oh, he hard.
I heard Alfred Hitchcock said, I hard on my bitches.
That was the third movie.
I hard on my bitch.
And when Alfred Hitchcock saw Steven Spielberg, he said, who this new motherfucker?
Who this? That's how they start with Gilbert, with who this? Who this new motherfucker? Oh Oh, shit.
I can't believe that he got to sit next to Alfred Hitchcock and fucking see him work. And
his last film, though.
But it's like
I think the story goes, what do we got on that? I got something on that. Supposedly, Alfred was asking him a lot because, let's see, he is one of only 2 actors to appear in movies directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And oh, no, wait, where's the thing I wanted to read? Oh, Family Plot, okay. He reportedly told an interviewer that because of Hitchcock's failing health, he often asked for Bruce's assistance during production.
Oh, so he really liked Bruce.
I guess so. Bruce Dern ruled. He was great.
I mean, the man's been working.
Not as great as Gilbert Gottfried, though.
No.
Jesus
no
Christ.
one is. Well, no one is.
Wow, man.
The late Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh,
Yes,
I want to thank Gilbert Gottfried. The late Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm always the last to know.
He calls it the late Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, the last to know.
I don't think that was a joke either.
He said the late.
But if you're going to run from L.A. to Denver, you got to give the guy a little break. He might be a little lightheaded.
The one thing he forgot out of all the facts he knew in his life, that Gilbert Gottfried was alive.
He can name some obscure film with this actress or this director, but he thinks Gilbert's dead.
That was a special moment.
Oh, my God.
Sad. It was just sad.
But if you run 300 miles in a weekend, you got to give him a little break.
Give him some leeway.
Oh, wow. Well, I think we did it. Fuck it. This was unbelievable.
This show went by fast, man.
This was fucking fun. Gilbert Gottfried. I've made it known on this show I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I feel like they're very similar to each other, but not Gilbert's.
Nope.
His is unique and different, just like the race wars. You guys came up with a nice angle, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
So we want to promote the colossal
Gilbert Gottfried's amazing colossal podcast. Subscribe on iTunes.
Yes.
And I think the web is gilbertpodcast.com. My Twitter is @RealGilbert, and my regular website is gilbertgottfried.com.
He really sounds like Gilbert Gottfried. It's amazing. Uncanny.
Hearing him really makes me miss Gilbert Gottfried.
Big shout out to Gilbert Gottfried, man. We'll always remember you, brother.
Yeah.
Who this new nigga?
Listen. We got that info on our Twitter, Opie and Jimmy on Twitter, the Gilbert Gottfried podcast. Plug is there. It's a great. I'm not a movie guy like you, Gilbert, especially old movies, and I still fucking love this thing. You do a great job, for real, man.
You know who's a big fan of breaking down old movies like that too? Tracy Morgan.
Really?
He went to do a couple shows where he break down like a Planet of the Apes. He freeze frame it and be like this. Look at a guy really get hit. Like he pays attention to
He was
like
talking about movies right when he was in the car. He was saying, hey, Citizen Kane was a good movie.
You remember the scene from No?
Lawrence of Arabia were good. Cecil B. DeMille were good.
Hey, driver, brake and turn around. I want to tell you something about Planet of the Apes.
Oh, man. Lord have mercy.
Oh, wow.
That's the good stuff.
I'll tell you what I know about Planet of the Apes. Fuck it. The budget sucked for the second or third movie, and all of a sudden they start wearing Halloween masks in the background.
Oh God, it was so bad.
Yeah,
so bad.
Each film was more and more popular, but then they dropped the budget for each film.
The budget kept dropping. The first one, everyone, the makeup was ridiculous and amazing. There are scenes in
no, it is not.
Maybe beneath the Planet of the Apes, and if you look closely in the background, they're Halloween masks.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
It looks like they have paper bags with a monkey drawn on it.
No.
Dude, maybe we can find it really fast.
Dude, by the time they got to like the fifth movie, like one of the lead apes was Paul Williams. So there was a big drop off.
You leave my friend Paul Williams alone.
Oh, he was on my podcast.
She's a genius.
And
Little Enos was a
I'm one of the apes. I'm taking over the planet, and I look down on these people. I am a superior being than these people who used to run the earth. The earth. Planet of the Apes was a good movie. I'm riding next to Tracy Morgan.
Oh, shit. Gilbert goes in. He goes in.
No one's safe with this Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
And, Jesus, Gilbert. Gilbert's going to be at Caroline's Thursday, too.
Yeah.
If you're around, please go see Gilbert. My God. I would assume the tickets are going to sell out, though.
Yeah.
212-757-4100 for Gilbert at Caroline's. Always a pleasure, man. Now we're doing this now. I like this.
I'll be driving in my van to Caroline's with Tracy Morgan.
You know what? Affleck was right about you.
And Bruce Dern and the Hateful Eight. We saw the movie. You guys are going to love the movie.
I can't wait.
Bruce Dern was in a lot of good movies. John Barrymore was a good actor.
So let the record show Sherrod's not laughing.
I'm not laughing at that.
Sherrod's not laughing.
I think it's not only wrong.
Sherrod's on tour, Tracy Morgan.
Too soon.
I want the record to show that Sherrod's not laughing right now.
I'm trying to swing at Gilbert right now. He's swinging on him.
He's reaching across the console. He can't get to him. He can't get to him.
Oh, man.
He's not laughing at all.
Gilbert goes in, huh?
Sherrod's got Race Wars on this channel Wednesdays at 7.
Yeah.
What else?
This week is our last show before the break.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our last week of live shows for us, too, man.
Yeah.
And then we get out of here for a couple weeks. And, wow, the show started a long time ago with Bill Burr and his F is for Family cartoon.
I gotta check that
animation.
out, too. That shit looks so hilarious.
I think they like to be called animations these days,
yeah,
right?
Animation. Cartoons
animation
for kids.
Series. It's on Netflix. We got to see a little bit of it. It's really, really good. People are going to really like it.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Good
Is that it? Sure. You good, Gilbert?
I think
yeah.
You good till next time?
Yeah, my podcast, Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes and see me at Caroline's Thursday.
Let's if the numbers go up on his podcast, then he'll come back and see us.
Yes.
Show Gilbert we got some heat.
He'll get a bump.
Show him we got some heat.
Child was a good movie.
It's uncanny. I mean, he sounds just like him.
The late, great Gilbert Gottfried. He
will be missed.
God rest his soul.
He will be missed. He would really appreciate this impression.
He would love it.
He would love it.
It's for you, Gilbert.
It's almost like he's still with us. Almost.
Close your eyes. It's
I'm like Patrick Swayze in Ghost. All like Patrick Swayze now. Patrick Swayze was a good actor.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
Oh, fuck.
In your face, Patrick Swayze.
Oh, my. All right.
Oh, shit.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. We'll do this again tomorrow. Sherrod, thank you, buddy.
Hey, Opie, all we got, brother.
All right. And Gilbert, of course. What can I say that hasn't been said already? See you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.